Hey everyone, Skillsy Shooty here. Welcome to episode 5 of the QuadFeed Podcast. This week we talk to JayEx23 all the way from the UK. We have a bit of a chat about the ridiculous delays that some of the next-gen games are experiencing. We have a bit of a talk about the 5 worst films of all time and talk a bit about Red Dead Redemption 2. Is it on the horizon? So, stick around. Hey everyone, Skillsy Shooty here. Welcome to episode 5 of the QuadFeed Podcast. I'm here with my usual bunch of cronies who are busy burping and drinking away. Ron's doing his best impression of Once Were Warriors. Yeah, that's not a normal facial reaction for VB, unfortunately.
No, it's 10:15.
It's 10:15. Cool. Well, as usual, well, I say as usual. Jeez, that was under no basis whatsoever. Like last week, we have a guest this week, but I will get to him. I'll just go through my usual panel. Mr. Ben, how are we, sir?
Not too bad. How are you?
Good, man. I like that tagline. That's boss.
I thought it was pretty clever.
It's good to see that we've now got something to sort of come back at the Sony fanboys with.
Yep.
Yeah.
See,
I'm not trying to start.
I'm impartial. I can go either side, so.
I've heard that about you.
Just ignore. Shit.
I get it.
Damn.
He's talking about Ben's sexual orientation.
Yeah. See what I did there?
Pretty clever.
Pretty clever. Hello, Chris. How are you, mate?
Good. How are you guys?
Good to see
Good
that.
to see you again for another week.
Thank you, sir. Good to see you've acknowledged your gaffe from a few weeks ago.
My failing, yes.
Have you got any hate mail about that yet?
I haven't actually.
Been contacted by the community manager?
Stuff.
No community managers at Saints Row have sort of got in touch with you and said, mate, seriously, you're killing this game.
Well, I mean, if they want me to promote it, I will. Just send me a free copy. I didn't even know the first one existed.
I look forward to your Let's Play. It's going to be awesome. Strap yourself in. It's Saints Row 1, previously undiscovered. Ronald?
Oh.
Oh, God. Sweet baby Jesus.
There you go.
So let's just... Okay, viewers, let's just count the amount of microphones he's got there. That looks to be 3, if I'm not sorely mistaken.
I don't have it as a stand for a 4th one.
Okay.
But, yeah.
All donations can be sent to Skillsy Shooter at...
It means we know that my microphone is a piece of shit, so... I don't know, let's see which one of these works, eh?
Clearly my Save the Ron microphone fund is doing extremely well.
It's true. You know, I'm just like neck deep in fucking microphones.
Yeah.
None of them work. None of them are plugged in.
Strange thing is, you're in some sort of video background as well, so I would have thought the person that would have had the biggest access to anything like this would have been you. But hey, I was sort of mistaken.
You would have thought that, but you would have thought wrong.
So wrong, so wrong.
He doesn't want to buy one good one. He wants to buy lots of shit ones. Hence.
That's it.
Right.
Just like you set up
Quantity over quality.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the most important thing.
And my guest this week, I mean, if you've discovered me before you've discovered this guy, you've been pretty much living under a rock. And, well, what can you say about him? He is the Camo King with all the bling. More beasting than London Zoo, more feasting than an episode of The Biggest Loser. It is JayEx23.
God, was that the intro?
That was kind of the one that I had sort of planned. I would sort of share that screen region with you to show you exactly what I'd written, but hey.
Thanks for that, Skillsy. It's an honour to be on such a prestigious podcast. I'm just, I'm so glad I can be here.
You can't fathom it, can you?
It's tough. I mean, I've always dreamed of being on this podcast for like the last 2 weeks, and now I'm here. It's kind of surreal. So I don't know. I'm speechless.
Speechless. Wow.
That's the biggest load of horse shit I've ever heard. But thanks. Welcome.
I look forward to your topics, Skillsy. Like, you come up with some good stuff. I'm looking forward
man.
to getting stuck into your whatever you've chosen this week.
Well, let's start it off on a bit of a downer, shall we?
All right.
I copped some flack the other day rather, for voicing my displeasure at how Watch Dogs has been delayed until spring 2014.
Wow.
And the
I
reason,
knew it was delayed, but not that much.
yeah.
That's pretty short.
So
Okay.
a couple of Australian gaming sort of journalists sort of responded to me saying, how can you be this much off? In terms of a launch title for a next gen console, we're talking potentially 5-6 months. And they jumped on the whole, it's got to be quality, it's got to be quality, it's got to be quality. And then, but the marketeering person in me sort of went the other way and said, you know what, if I was to tell you that I need another 5 months to get this job done, I'd probably end up with no job. So
Jay just walked away when you brought that up.
he loved the first topic so much. He was like, I'm out of here.
I had to close my window. The road outside my house has just got so busy. It was like sitting on the motorway, so I had to close it.
I sent them.
I thought you stepped up to the side and just like, oh god, you just rolled your eyes and took like or something. Like, oh,
Come on, Skills, get to the point. What are we talking about
It's
here?
like, this first topic really isn't grabbing me.
Yeah.
But yeah, am I alone in this though? Like, should I be pissed off? It was pretty much. It was funny.
Have they announced why it's been delayed? Is it a copyright thing, censorship,
No, it's
bugs?
purely
It's just-
because they want to apply the final level of quote unquote polish to the game, which apparently
Yeah,
isn't
well,
there.
that's bullshit spin. Basically, they tested it and it's broke as fuck, and they need 6 months to sort it out. Like, that's really what's happened.
Insert
'cause-
GTA 5 joke.
Yeah, well, that's what's happened. It's obvious. You don't get like a month before and you're like, oh, better add a bit more polish. It's
Yeah.
rubbish. It's broken and they need to fix it. That's
Need more lens flares.
yeah. I mean, personally, for me, there's a lot of games out. So even if I was really, really hyped up about it, it wouldn't faze me. But yeah, to someone who would think that they're going to be an avid Watch Dogs fan and that's the only game they want to play, yeah, it's pretty annoying, but
Pretty
I
crushing.
think it's fine with most people.
I felt sorry for Ghibli because when I asked him what next gen games he's looking for, the only game he said was Watch Dogs. And I was like,
Oh,
you poor bastard.
What he found, he probably put his fist through the screen or something like that.
He tweeted me the day after it was announced, and he's like, guess I'm looking forward to next gen then. Yeah, poor bugger. I don't know. It just smacks as someone in the PR department has just gone, how can we dress this up as something positive?
well, I suppose another problem is they were selling a lot of Watch Dogs launch consoles. So I don't know if people have to just choose something else now. I mean, that's a bit gutting if you thought, oh yeah, I want the Watch
Oh, yeah.
Dogs thing, so that's my game. Because a lot of the other games, they're kind of what we've seen before. You can get a Xbox or PlayStation with Battlefield, FIFA, whatever, Call of Duty. But Watch Dogs is the one that's a little bit stand out and a bit like, oh, here's something which is a bit next level of gaming. So
Yeah.
it is disappointing, sure.
One thing I did think of, and I didn't think of it, it was brought to my attention that if they were to align it with Assassin's Creed Black Flag, that would be two Ubisoft open world games that would be in direct competition with each other.
Is that out? You know?
As in, when does that come out? Is that end of the
Assassin's
month?
Creed, I don't know. It'll be out. Yeah, it'll be out soon, won't it?
Yeah. So I kind of went, yeah, they've kind of got a point there, but I mean, I just think that's the luck of timing. I don't think it was anything intentional. I don't think they factored in, hang on, maybe we'll need 5 months extra polish time, if that's what we're going to call it, and then we can bump it back to spring 2014, where it's going to be competing with Titanfall. I mean...
I got a bit, I caused a bit of an awkward moment really because Sony are doing an event here in London in a few weeks for the release of PlayStation 4.
Yep.
And they said I could go down there, and I said I might be able to like capture some footage and all this kind of thing. So I was like, oh, it's awesome. And the first thing I asked was like, will I be able to record Watch Dogs? And I didn't know that it had been delayed, and so they were there going, well, might be there, I don't know. So,
Staying on top of that news.
I was like, yeah, I'm so up to date with all this gaming news. I'm like, never mind.
Yeah.
They said, yeah, there'll be some games there. That's the problem. I think some people were a little worried the Sony lineup for the launch is a little weaker now.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Drive Club, that's been delayed as well. 2014 spring. I mean,
Is it delayed or cancelled?
delayed.
Just delayed.
It is delayed.
Yeah.
I tell you what kind of is cool though, I don't know if you guys got experience these games, but the fact that games like Warframe and Blacklight are going to be free and they're on release is kind of cool, especially Blacklight. I mean, that's a pretty smart FPS, and the fact that it's free, I mean, especially like, say, at Christmas time and the kids want something to play and they can't afford another COD or Battlefield, I think that's going to blow up a little bit, that game, because, I mean, we know the free market, I mean, League of Legends and all these free games, they blow up if they're good. So I think that will help divert attention a little bit from a lack of games. The fact that those two are free and maybe even a few more might be free.
I think it's also coming with the War Thunder as well, which is loads of fun if you haven't already played it.
That's an awesome game.
What's that? What's that all about?
That's a World War II fighter pilot game, which is just like, yeah.
Did they do that on? Was that on Good Game the other week? Like,
That was great.
Yeah, that was on a few weeks ago. That's still like in beta, but it's pretty much finished in terms of the planes wise. But they're also going to add tanks and also I think a naval fleet as well. So it's like from all aspects.
All those aviation nerds coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Sitting
And
there
you can
going, oh, I love
upgrade.
the Spitfire. Spitfire was the best thing that ever saved us in the World War. Oh, for fuck's sake.
Well, you can choose from all the planes
Yeah,
from whichever
all-
countries you want.
All the
I-
planes.
So
you
it's
can-
got all
no
of the
doubt.
planes from World War II through to World War One as well.
Yep. And the Spitfire is OP as well. So yeah, you're right what you said.
English developer, no doubt? Or?
No, actually, it's funny because they're Russian.
Oh,
so
right.
I chose the Russian planes, and they're so overpowered. It's so biased. It's ridiculous. So I got all the awesome Russian planes, and you just
The
take
flames
everyone
vortexes.
out. It's ridiculous. So that's a lot of fun.
Sitting there with your AK-47 and your fucking Russian fighter plane. Yeah. Does this sway you in any way, in any particular way, Ron? Is it making you come over to the Xbox now that Watch Dogs has been delayed?
No, I'm always going to be Xbox. Pretty sure.
Oh, that's right.
He's
you
an
were too.
ex-boner.
So he's
Yeah,
an ex-boner.
I'm not the PlayStation kind of guy. But
So I meant
But-
Chris, because Chris was kind of on the fence. Seeing as you're console homeless after your mum had sold your console. You poor bastard. That was a classic. Even I didn't know that last week. I just... Oh.
Yeah, it's gone. I actually went to another store. There's a store near my place that sells retro games. It actually sells Ataris and stuff. I was thinking about
really?
picking one up the other day. Yeah.
Oh, can't
I
wait
walked
for your
in
Let's
and
Play on
it's just
pole
like
position. That's
walking
going to be
into
awesome.
a time
Yeah.
zone.
Pitfall and Bomberman. Oh, you're going to be... your channel's going to blow up.
I didn't even know if you can record from those ones.
Yeah. Can you hook up an Elgato to those?
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
not
for sure. Yeah. HDMI on the
The
2600.
More processing power.
It looks great on a 4K screen.
Those pixels.
But no, you're right. I am leaning more towards the Xbox now. After the bad releases and
This is me clapping for you. Which would mean
That's
that...
sarcastic, though. That clap is kind of sarcastic.
No, it's not. I'm
That's
Xbox.
slow clap.
Yeah, baby.
Well done.
Yeah.
I didn't want to make it too loud. just in
Especially
case the microphone
because-
is smashed. Yeah.
because games like Watch Dogs with their the minimum requirements of all the games on PC are quite high now. So I either have to upgrade my PC, which will cost the same as buying a console. So I'm a bit torn at the moment. But the
I was
Xbox
gonna
looks
say, have you guys? I don't suppose you do, but do any of you guys have a Vita, PS Vita?
I really tossed up between buying one probably about 2 months ago.
Because when I was talking to the people who were promoting the PS4, I asked them a little bit about how that worked because I didn't even really understand the remote play aspect. I'm like, what happened? Like, surely you can't really play PlayStation 4 games on your Vita. How does it work? And because I never really understood the streaming idea. And the fact that they told me that you basically, as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection where your PlayStation 4 is and wherever you are, you can literally play any PlayStation 4 game anywhere in the world as long as you have a Wi-Fi connection or an internet connection. So, like, you could play, like, a game like Heavy Rain or something. It sounds great for, because, I mean, maybe not a game like Call of Duty or something, but I think for other games, like if you just want to go up to bed and maybe like play a bit before you go to bed, or if someone else is on the TV or whatever, that's kind of a bit of a selling point for me. I mean, it is the extra money for a Vita as well, but especially like in a family home, or somewhere where you do have to fight a bit for TV space, if you can play your single player games anywhere, like in the house or anywhere with internet connection, I think that's a pretty smart thing. I did wonder how it's going to work with the controls, because obviously the controls are a bit funky on a Vita, but it does sound like a really cool idea, in my opinion.
They were bundling them at a point when there was news that they were going to bundle them at some point, like to bring it up to the price point.
I mean, personally, I don't like the idea of being force-fed Vitas and mobile apps and Google Glass and all this crap, but it is a cool thing to do in. Like, I think if you had a Vita or you had the budget for one, it's a cool thing, but it is an extra. I mean, if you add that onto the cost, it pushes it up more expensive than an Xbox then, even though they don't have the similar version, but it's
that is a really cool idea, actually. Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, though, like, Microsoft at one stage would have hedged their bets and gone, you know what, we've got this massive developer sort of base that, maybe didn't get the exposure they wanted to before because they were developing for Kinect games, so they kind of took care of that and saying, every Xbox that goes out next gen is going to be, Kinect compatible kind of thing. So if you take the Kinect away from that, do they win the price war? But then by the same token, is an Xbox plus Kinect, the same value for money as a PS4 with a PS Vita? I mean, I would have to side with the PS Vita, the PlayStation 4 in that case, but.
Well, I mean, the PS Vita, I mean, it is an own system on itself as well. I mean, you can sit there and watch Netflix, go on Skype and look at your pictures, and it's not just a PS4 streaming device. It is literally its own thing as well, which is cool. You don't have to be anywhere, especially if you live in a house with other people, and whoever can just jump on it whenever. So I think it's a good thing. I mean, I probably won't buy one unless I have the spare money. I mean, because I do work at home, so I can spend my time here working on the games, but I think it's a nice feature that I think if people understand a bit more, people.
Yeah, no, it sounds like a good idea, especially for people who have a long commute or something. You can play on the train or something.
Yeah.
Well, apart from unless you can't get Wi-Fi on your commute.
Oh, that's true. It would drop out.
But even then,
sometimes.
it's still a decent little machine for looking and playing games and stuff. It does have its own games, of course.
Oh, yeah.
No, I think my brother has one. I'm not sure if he still uses it. He got it when they first came out.
Yeah. I mean, if they knock down the price as well, I mean, that'd be an easy sell.
That was a bit of a sticking point at the beginning. It was like, not a huge library, and yet they're asking, what are they here, 250, Chris? About 250, 300 here?
Probably. I think the Game Boys are about 250, 300, so they're the only competition.
That inflation, man, jeez. I remember getting a Game Boy in 1990 for, I think it was about £100. I was in the UK for Christmas that year. Super Mario. I was sitting there like a pig in shit. I was loving it. Sitting there watching Noel Edmonds' Christmas special, just kicking back, playing a bit of Game Boy.
No, who?
That's a question I've got for you later on, actually, Joe. I'll ask you that later.
Or British stuff.
Oh, yeah. It's gonna be awesome.
Okay, all right, I'm happy with that. Yeah, PS Vita here is about 140, 150. I don't know how that stocks up against
I just
Australian
checked then.
dollars.
It's $250 Australian dollars.
Is that JB or something?
They got different versions. I think it's a 3G Wi-Fi only, so the price will go up and down.
The memory cards are quite expensive, I hear, for PS Vitas as well, if you want a decent one, so that's a bit of
you have to buy the Sony ones.
thing to consider, yeah.
Those microvolt Memory sticks, yeah. Well, it's probably a good segue, actually, because my next topic was going to be about how, especially in the UK, Wii U sales have gone up 685% following the launch of Zelda. I mean, I've never been into Zelda, but how can a console be so reliant?
Yeah, but you do
on
realise
one
they
game?
sold like 2 consoles in the month previous, so that's only like 1,000 consoles sold. It's not as if everyone's got one now.
One was to
So-
IGN and one was to Machinima or something.
That is a good spin, 680%, but you
Isn't
know,
it?
when you only sell a couple of... I mean, they had the worst sales that any new console's ever had. So I suppose that is a little something, but it's only a couple thousand people. I would guess it's probably only no more than 5,000 units, probably.
I'd love to
And
see
for
that
one
company
one
report.
huge release game, I mean, if a AAA game other than Zelda sold only a few thousand, it would be a disaster, wouldn't it? So that sounds good, but
Looking for that silver lining.
the Wii U's just a mess. They've completely messed it up, but whatever, they don't care.
Well, they
They're
cast...
the Wii, so...
Not making enough money, right?
Wow, I mean, cast your mind back a few years ago when the Wii came out. I mean, you couldn't get one for love nor money. It was kind of that whole Apple syndrome where if you short supply someone, you know, you just build that enthusiasm for the product to the point where, you know, people just are falling over themselves to try and get one. I mean, my dad got one for Christmas. It was the family present that year. Sat there, stood there playing bowling and baseball and all that sort of stuff, and it's been gathering dust ever since. Like,
There's so many like Wii's gathering dust. Like when my family bought one, and it's literally just a toy for Christmas, and that's it. They never used it again. Like well, you know, Nintendo got what they needed, which was the purchase. So that's what I need to do, really.
the crowning glory of that whole process was being sent a photo from my cousin in the UK of my nan standing on the Wii scales trying to play some sort of balance board game. And for a woman who's in her early 80s, back then she was in her early 80s, getting her to do anything that isn't related to racist activity or, you know, making a cup of Horlicks.
What? Well,
We covered this last week. My nan is kind of racist.
Did we cover this? I don't remember this.
Yeah, we're getting off topic anyway.
No. Hold on. I want to hear one story, just one.
One story.
You can't let him talk about his nan like that. Come on.
Yeah. Thanks for interjecting there, Jay. Yeah, I was going to...
She's a great woman, I'm sure. She's just a bit set in her ways.
She's very set.
Just a bit old-fashioned.
I just wanted to hear one story.
Well, one story
It's
is...
one of the stories that she saw your podcast and Ronald was on it.
Oh yeah, my nan's completely hooked up in the ways of the YouTube.
Who's that Oriental fella? Or that Mexican?
Seriously, you don't know how close to the mark you are on that sort of stuff.
Wow.
Dislike, unsubscribe.
Unsubscribe. Yeah. Skills he doesn't like his nan. Unsubscribe. Yeah.
So Skillsy's man really hates wetbacks. Boom, subscription.
I lost a sub today, and I kind of went, you know what? I'd love to be able to track those unsubscribers, so I could send them a text and say, "Really? I mean, what? I mean, it's small fish compared to other
I'm
channels."
sorry about that, Skillsy. I'll resub.
He'll resub tomorrow.
Yeah. It's funny.
At least for a week, you can watch this video and then be like, all right, now I'm done with him forever.
You realize now you said that everyone's gonna like unsub and then resub a week later, just so you keep thinking, oh man, keep losing subs.
That might have to be the censor portion of this podcast this week.
Oh, come on. You're not that protective of your subs. Come on.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm glad it's not just me doing the talking during the censored parts.
Last week, it was in graphic detail about what you wanted to do to Ellen Page.
That's right.
Thus losing your Beyond Two Soul sponsorship. So
They wouldn't sponsor me anyway.
no, they wouldn't.
But, you know, it's really odd to be censored on the internet, you know, when it's kind of like you can say absolutely anything. It's the net. It's the interwebs. You know, like, everybody's fucking filthy. I'm just putting an actual face on it. And I'm still getting censored.
Did you see that tweet from KSI the other day, Jay, where Miley Cyrus's video didn't get censored or age gated, but KSI's response
his video did. Yeah. It's kind of ironic, but it just depends. To be honest, like the people at Vivo or whoever uploaded freaking Miley's video probably have the power to like not give a fuck about what gets reported or flagged. I mean, they've got that kind of power.
Yeah.
So it's not really. It's a bit stupid, but I'm not surprised at all. So.
Coming after you next, Jay. Just because you said that.
What? What's it?
They're gonna come after you now. You said it. You're speaking.
Oh, the censors. Oh, don't. Flag for inappropriate content when it's like a Call of Duty video or something.
Yeah. They're like, I don't like the way you talk about it. Just censor him. I don't give a fuck. You have the power. Just censor him. What
you should do on your next Call of Duty video.
Gold gun becomes a censored word. I'm out of business, mate. So
you should have a wrecking ball coming through your video.
Don't. That's going to conjure up all kinds of weird images.
A gold wrecking ball. Gold camo on it. Yeah. I'm just getting off track. Let's talk about a game that is coming out and hasn't been delayed, and one that I'm looking forward to. A bit of Batman action.
Oh, yeah. Batman.
Like, I don't know if you guys thought it looks the same, even though it's supposed to be before. It's like a prequel, right?
Yeah.
But the finding that doesn't bother me. But I mean, I remember seeing one of the demos that they had. I'm not sure what show it was at, but they showed what he can do now with like the gadgets that he's got, and he's trying to figure out what happened with this helicopter crash or something like that, and somebody shot the rotors of the helicopter and it crashed. And
detective mode.
Yeah, and he's figured it all out, and it's like, wait, he didn't have that through Arkham Asylum or Arkham City, so I don't know. We're going backwards, so I don't
it's
know.
like the weeds gathering dust. He's forgotten about it.
That's it, man. He's got all these new gadgets. He doesn't need to recreate any of that bullshit. It's just like, you know what? I'm just going to find this person and kick the crap out of him now. I don't have to recreate things in my head in some sort of Matrix-like world. I'm just going to find him and kick the 7 bells of crap out of him.
Yeah, that would make more sense if you didn't have the gadgets. But like, I suppose it's got to do something newer and cooler. So I don't know. It's just kind of like if he had that gadget now, it's like then it goes to the present. Where Arkham City's on. Like that's happening right now, and he's like, well, I remember that gadget that I used to have. Well, fuck it, I don't need to use that anymore.
Ironically,
Alfred's selling them on eBay.
Ironically, though, because it's a prequel, you kind of know that none of them succeed in killing Batman. But that's just me clutching at straws.
I think isn't this the first one that's going to have a multiplayer as well? I saw because
I did see.
I don't know. I just read someone talking about their multiplayer. Whether that's going to be any good, I don't know, but something to try out, I suppose.
I'm picturing something very GTA-like, where you are literally...
Everyone just kills each other.
I think it's like kind of Batman against villains, and you either play as like one of the group of villains or as Batman, and you have to like get from one side to another, or like sneak around them, and that kind of. I know that's definitely one of the game types, but I don't remember it. I mean, I read an article. I don't remember it word for word, but they've got some interesting ideas for sure. I mean, I presume it'll be something that you'll pick up and play, have a bit of a laugh with, but you won't get addicted to it or anything. But we'll see. Something fun to try. If you feel like once you've completed the game, maybe, or you just feel like something different.
To me, it's kind of a bit like Splinter Cell, and how that you tack on a multiplayer aspect to a really good campaign. That, I mean, thankfully, the Splinter Cell multiplayer is quite good. It's a little bit difficult to handle sometimes because just the changes in view, like if you're a mercenary, you're third person. If you're if you're like a ninja, you're third person. If you're a mercenary, you're first person. And just that shift. I mean, you can't help but get into Call of Duty mode and try and spray down one of these ninjas, but the ninjas are kind of overpowered in that respect. But I don't know. I just loved the campaign on Arkham City. It was just so good.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
One thing they do amazingly, which is for me one of the most important things in the game, is atmosphere. Yeah. Like if you can get the atmosphere of the world and really get stuck into that, I mean that's it. Like the gameplay, I mean I like it to be good. Like my example I use for games like that is I thought the atmosphere on World at War was incredible. And although it's not seen as like one of the better CODs for a lot of people, I just, whenever I turn that game on, as soon as I start hearing the music and the atmosphere, I just think, oh, this is really, I can really get into this. And Batman's like that. Like it's a really believable world, and it's a cool world, like that you want to be in. So that's always great about him.
It's laid really well as well, like the Easter eggs and all the different
I
side
love
missions
how they
and stuff.
got all the characters in, like a lot of the what they call the rogues gallery, like in there, and just like even Hush, that was cool with the bodies and the spoiler face. I don't know, that's not much of a spoiler. I didn't spoil anything, but so no need for spoiler face. But like getting everybody in there, I think is fucking brilliant.
It's probably, for me, he's the coolest comic character. So to do a game that kind of all goes along with that, especially with when obviously the latest Batman films come out, Batman became that much cooler. I think it all goes really well in terms of a comic game. They can be a bit cheesy and whatever, but for me, it's a cool game. It sets the tone. It's a dark and kind of evil world, and that's what you want, really. You don't want too much. Like the Deadpool game recently came out, and that's meant to be funny, but Batman is probably the only superhero he's the only superhero that is legitimately pretty cool, kind of, to most people. So
it's because he's just a guy. He doesn't have any superpowers. He's just got
a
bit of money.
Well, Iron Man's just a guy.
Well, and that's why I think in the same way that Iron Man is probably one of my favorite comic book characters as well. If they were to come out with something Batman-like in the Iron Man world,
it's just a big cool look, just because he gets wasted.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, if he was if Tony Stark was a real guy, I would just love to have a drink with him. That would be and then then he'd jump in the suit and that kind of stuff. But no, yeah, he's just a genuinely cool kind of dude in a suit of armor. But
it'd be cool if that studio who does Batman did an Iron Man game then, and see if they can. I don't know, it'd be cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure if an Iron Man game would really work as well. It's
they've
a
had the
good
movie
movie,
tie-ins.
but
Like they've had the movie tie-in games, and they're like pretty much always really, really poor. Have you guys seen any of those? They're fucking horrible.
I downloaded the Marvel Comics app just to there's usually invariably a Iron Man free comic that you can get with the Marvel apps and stuff. And I thought, you know what, I wouldn't mind getting back into the graphic novels and stuff. And sure enough, you go to the App Store, type in Iron Man, and there's just no shortage of these free sort of Iron Man games that just probably took about 30 minutes to knock up, and then just and that's about it. Just shoot targets like fruit ninja.
If you gave it to the right developer, though, pretty much any comic character or anything like that could be cool. I mean, if Bethesda or someone did it, or see the guys who do Batman at the moment, I'm not sure what the studio is, but they'd make something cool.
Well, that was the biggest concern that I had with this game. I did a video on about how because it changed studios from Rocksteady to WB Montreal, that it was just going to be a reinvention of the wheel kind of thing, and I was like, please don't stuff up this combat system, because that was the best thing about that game, and just how free-flowing and fluid it was. And like, if you touch this combat system, swear to God, like, I'll cancel my pre-order.
I'm gonna write a letter.
I'm gonna write an official letter to WB Montreal, all the way in Canada, expressing my displeasure.
There's nothing worse than having your favourite game series ruined, though. I was a huge Pro Evo fan, like obviously the franchise and then they came out on next gen, and I could have cried when I started playing it. Literally, what have you done to my beautiful football game? Like, I literally loved that series so much. It was everything to me in terms of games, and as soon as I was like 10 minutes into the Pro Evo 2008, it was. I thought, you just kind of are in denial that it's really shit, and you think, no, come on, it'll be all right. It just takes a while to get used to. And then it dawned on me about half hour in, like in my second or third game, that this is just a steaming pile of shit, and that I have no game to play. So that was when I kind of moved on to like COD and Resistance Fall of Man, all those kind of games, because like Pro Evo just got ruined. Ironically, I've got Pro Evo 2014 sitting right here, but only because I got given it. So but I've got to try it out. I'm not expecting anything great, but
well, before you do, don't go to KSI's brother's channel, because he did quite a scathing 3 or 4 minute review on it.
Oh, I know it's gonna. I've played it already. I know what to expect.
It's
but
garbage.
whatever.
Wait, you got to snap it right now, live,
No,
right here.
no.
Show how angry you truly are about what they've done to a precious game.
If I had my Provo 2008 Discord, like, I don't know where that is.
It's currently a coaster, propping up the couch behind you.
Honestly, I've never been so close to tears from a video game. Like, that was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the story, it was the actual game being shit.
Yeah, I mean, Heavy Rain was up there, choked me up a bit, but the awfulness of Provo, just the pure horror that I was witnessing on screen was pretty emotional.
Hey, Red Dead got me at the end.
Yeah.
Or spoiler face.
Thank you for the segue. That's brilliant, Ron.
I did something
That's a contribution to the show that will not go unpunished.
Hooray, I'm helping!
You punish me for doing something brilliant?
The story is this, right? There was an advertisement on LinkedIn. Let me just click the story.
Oh, that's all good. We got time.
A LinkedIn profile of a senior engineer currently employed at Rockstar Games suggests their New England division is working on the next version of a famous IP.
Yeah.
The profile didn't mention the IP in specific, but we can surely take a wild guess with Grand Theft Auto 5 released that only leaves behind one famous title, Red Dead Redemption. Oh.
I looked this up and read that a lot of people think it's going to be Bully 2 as well.
Oh, God. Give me a break.
But I hope it's like even Manhunt, like in next gen, like
Oh,
it'll
with the Connect system.
Yeah, it won't get released. It'll basically
I do think we're getting to that point where the really kind of sadistic and gross games are going to get a bit too much for some people. Like, I think, especially like big screen TVs and, like you say, Connects and things, and if it's really gruesome, then I probably won't play. I don't know, it's not my... You have to wonder, because some people might get a kick out of it. I mean, in like a way that's not just a fantasy way.
So I should stop development of my pimple popper simulator now.
Oh, that sounds amazing. I'll play that.
Cool.
Oh man, you're sitting on a gold mine. I would play that. Well, you know when you sit on
like spot squeezing videos on YouTube and see the millions of views and just know you've got a hit on your hand.
Exactly. Like I'll sit on YouTube. I'll be looking up some like music video or something like that, and then somewhere or another, I'm looking at pimple popping videos, and I'm just staring at it, and like the ones where people getting their cysts removed.
Oh,
and,
no. It's compelling viewing, whatever it is.
Amazing.
I mean, just to get to the point where Wings can put up a video about his trip to the clinic to get whatever the fuck that was taken off his back or stomach or whatever it was, I was just, you know what? This is one view you're not getting, buddy boy. I'm out of here.
What's his channel? I'm going to check it out.
No.
Oh god.
After the show, mate. After the show. I don't want you puking on this podcast.
I won't puke, man. I'll eat and like watch the paper cut bit from the second Jackass movie.
God.
That part. Oh, even I freaked out. But I'll eat and still watch that. But yeah, I still hope it's Red Dead. But it could be the new GTA. Because I remember when they said when GTA 4 finished, straight away they just jumped on a GTA 5. They already had ideas for 4.
I bet you any money it's GTA like mobile version or something, or like iPad. Didn't that happen before with one of those series? Like...
They did Chinatown Wars. That was on a handheld thing.
That's what it'll be. I guarantee you that's what it is. I mean, Red Dead Redemption 2 sounds incredible, but I don't think they will do Red Dead Redemption 2. But I fell in love with that game again. Back to the atmosphere point. It was so believable, that world, and I mean I fell in love with it. But
when we were talking about atmosphere before, and you just ride down on your horse and and then the sun going up and down, just animals fighting out in the middle of nowhere, the calls of wolves and shit like that, and even shit like your horse's muscles, watching them as you're galloping away, that blew my mind. I have a thing for horses, okay? I find them to be quite a majestic animal.
Yeah, they did. What was amazing, they managed to fit so many kind of landscapes into the game, and you could just seamlessly go through them all on online free roam, because that's what I was addicted to. And you could just ride from one end to the other, and you've gone through deserts, you've gone through mountains, you've gone through forest areas, and it's just so seamless. There's no loading or anything.
Yeah.
And it makes it really kind of a believable world. And yeah, I thought that was an incredible game. I did a few videos about it, and I still look back, get really nostalgic. But
Yeah.
I don't see it happening. I hope they do. I think maybe they'll do something slightly different, not Red Dead 2, but something similar maybe. But
Maybe they'll do Red Dead 3 for Chris. I don't know.
Well, it's funny you say that because Red Dead was the second one. The first one, what was the first one called? It wasn't called Red Dead.
Red
Was
Dead
it?
Revolver.
Yeah,
That was the
that's
very
it.
first one. And it
So
wasn't
Red
made
Dead
by-
was the second one.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Sorry, can we lend no credence to any sort of claims that Chris has on this podcast? Factual inaccuracies are what we're all shooting for here.
Wow. You actually got away with one, Chris. Fuck.
I'll tell you what though, because I mean, I suppose in research for all the stuff that we're talking about now, I come across some videos or some previews for games that I probably wouldn't have given much attention before, and I came across Need for Speed, and I kind of thought, well, Jay, you were always
Ron's favourite game.
you were a big Burnout fan, Burnout Paradise fan. But then I sort of went, oh, you know what? I've pre-ordered Forza as well, but I mean, they're two completely different fields of games, but I don't know.
Aren't they both driving games? No, I mean, aren't they technically the same thing?
Well,
isn't there's another one coming out that's meant to be like a driving not RPG, I suppose. Is it RPG? It's meant to be like a free roam, massive online world. I think it's multi-platform. I can't remember exactly what it's called though, but yeah, there's a lot of driving games coming out. Need for Speed Most Wanted was the last one, and that was tons of fun. That was a really good Need for Speed. I mean, it wasn't Underground 2, but in my opinion, it's the best one they've done on that generation. Like, you had so many amazing cars, it had free roam, it had races, it had everything. So yeah, I would look forward to a new one for sure. Like, I love arcade racing as well as like more realistic style racing. So
it looks
I might be
brilliant.
trying it if I've
It looks
got
amazing.
time. So
The only thing I didn't like about Most Wanted was you could only do about 5 races with one car, and then you had to get another one. You couldn't like keep your favourite car and do all the races like in the other ones.
Well, that's pretty fucking stupid, isn't it?
What, because you'd smash it up
Well,
before
it
the
made
fourth
you
race?
change, so
Exactly.
I guess
it was kind of like you were competing to be the best, and obviously you couldn't like take your like Renault
couldn't
Clio
take an
and then
overpowered
eventually
car
take
and-
on the Bugatti at the end. It'd be a bit silly. So
yeah.
I think that was kind of the reason. Because the idea of the story is to continually beat the best cars.
Yeah.
So
I do want to see that
Yeah.
race, though, ironically. I want to see that Clio versus
Yeah.
that Veyron. just
well,
to
I
see
think
what-
it was Gran Turismo. One of the Gran Turismos had a 1,000 horsepower Renault Clio in it, and so maybe
Yeah,
that would have had a chance. Yeah.
that would have been the V6,
Actually, I
the
think it was
mid-engine.
a Renault
Gran
Espace,
Turismo too.
actually. Yeah.
That V6.
I forget how many horsepower the Supra
What about
had.
the handling on that thing?
And it
but-
smoked the tyres the whole way around the test track.
Yeah.
I still get flashbacks to that, the day they took it down to the Top Gear test track. And just that short wheelbase, it was just... it was like putting a rocket on a roller skate. Why is Chris joining the
Spinning
call
all
again?
the time.
Who's this guy?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, holy
God.
shit!
We've got 2.
Who invited
Dropped
him?
out.
Maybe,
I'm not sure what happened there. My
maybe he'll have some
dropped out
topics.
for a
yeah.
second.
Chris, number 2, what would you like to see in next gen?
You would only want to see sequels, right?
I don't sequels, just sequels straight away. I don't want to play the first. I don't want to play a prequel. Number 2. That's it.
So going back to the Kinect side of things, is there any game really that you can see translating from the controller to you standing around in front of your TV or monitor like an idiot? waving around furiously.
Manhunt 3.
Dance Dance Revolution.
Well, yeah.
Only an enjoyable casual game. I don't think you're gonna all of a sudden be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna play GTA with the Kinect. I mean, there'll be some fun games you can play with Kinect that will do well, but I definitely don't see a serious gaming, I don't know, experience with a Kinect. But I'm open
I
to
get the P90X
trying
though.
it.
I reckon you
P90X with a Kinect, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, I already know what an idiot I look like while I'm doing that anyway. I don't need the Kinect looking at me and just showing me my bad form all the time and being like, you know, straightening that back and all this. Like, you can imagine it. It'd be a nightmare. Might be fun though. I would try it out, like workout DVDs and stuff with Kinect. I don't know. I'll give it a go.
Oh, I'm gonna get it. Yeah. If anything's gonna sort of motivate me to, if I have to spend, more time in this room around the Christmas period, then hell, I'm gonna try and work off that Christmas turkey and get stuck into it.
Pilates game.
Pilates, yeah. The what?
I think it would be cool actually, because if you have like a P90X game on the Kinect, it'd be cool if you have achievements, and then that will give you some like, I don't know, weight loss or strength goals, and I don't know how they'd monitor things like what weights you're picking up or whatever, but it'd be cool if they monitored your performance in certain other things like push-ups or whatever. So if you need, like, you imagine people like half killing themselves just to get all the achievements, it'd be hilarious. I'd love to see that.
Also, that has to be a game that's about the Biggest Loser, right?
Yeah.
Well, I tell you
People
what,
just cheat somehow.
For the overweight people, the overweight demographic who want, something to shoot for, and they're massive gamers. Not mentioning anyone. Not mentioning anyone in the YouTube community that could potentially do with that. But I mean, shoot for the stars, mate.
Well, to be honest, I don't think a game's going to change that. But I think for some people, I'll try out. And if it's well done, it's well done. If it's kind of just really cheesy, I'll probably just forget it and just do the workouts without it. But if it's done well, like, because you know what will happen, it will like take pictures of you and send it out to all your Xbox friends, like while you're in the middle of a workout, and you just be like, can I just turn this thing off, please? Like,
That's the
I'm
funniest
just going to
thing
take the
ever.
most embarrassing photos.
yeah.
This is me doing a hack squat.
yoga pose or something.
Yeah.
This is
You
me
bend over,
splitting
touch
my
your
pants
toes.
doing a military press. Oh shit!
Especially if you're working out in just your shorts or something.
This is,
Oh my
this is
god.
my left nut coming out of my shorts.
Yeah, doing
Share
one
to
thing with
Facebook,
your nut
question
hanging
mark?
out.
They'll send like little notes along with the pictures, like, your buddy Dave only did one sit-up the other day. Just one.
Before splitting his pants and grabbing a beer from the fridge.
I tell you what would be really
It's a
crazy
high
though, is because it's got Connect, if like when you're sitting at your computer or you're at your desk and it's on and it sees you like eating Doritos or something, it recognises the bag and it's like, your P90X coach just pops up on screen, it's like, come on now, I'm going to
Just
help you with
starts
those
shouting
games.
at you.
Like the paperclip,
Yeah.
like the paperclip on a Word document. It's like, it looks like you're eating Doritos. Do you want to
Yeah.
fire
Our
up a
P90X
workout?
coach disapproves. You get like minus gamer score every time like some fast food appears in front of your Connect or something.
So that's hiding your own junk food from your
From
game.
your TV.
Yeah, that is getting pretty creepy actually.
Shall we spin the wheel and see what
Spin that
random
wheel.
topic we can come up with?
Sure.
Jay, are you familiar with this process?
I don't remember spinning of a wheel, but
It was kind of
That's
something
fine,
I
yeah.
tried to do in like show one, just in case it got too gaming heavy, and I thought we'd grab a topic that might not necessarily be gaming related. It could be a panel question. It could be something that
Have we got any panel questions?
we have two.
Whoa, that's a record.
One of which actually came via a live stream that I was in when Jay was doing a GTA 5 live stream. And the other one is from our mate Blood Tears Glory.
Blood Tears Glory.
Blood Tears Glory. We'll do his question actually. It kind of relates to the Wii U. If and when Nintendo decides to come out with a next-gen console, and if you were hired to head up the department to develop the new next-gen console, what do you do to make it better and more competitive against the Xbox and PlayStation?
Hang on, but they just did one. Like, that's kind of irrelevant.
Well,
You mean next gen?
next gen. Yeah, something that can actually compete with something other than a Commodore 64 graphically.
Well, I think the biggest thing would be the graphics, wouldn't it? That's the only thing really setting it apart.
I think what they should do is they take their massive franchises and just make them incredible and actually release them and actually like them. Like, you know, Mario Kart, like say Zelda, everything that Nintendo fans love, make them awesome and actually get them out and made on a regular basis. That would kind of convince people to get a Wii U, I think, if all those, you know, Donkey Kong or all the things people loved. And they just, because at the moment it's like, you know, every 2-3 years, one of those big games comes out. Maybe even get other developers on board instead of just doing it all in-house kind of, and just get some more games, more great games out. And I think it would do all right.
So your suggestion for the games consoles to make games?
Make lots of games.
Make lots of games.
Which sounds stupid, but...
Not the games that they've got out now, like Luigi.
No,
It needs to be
I think
Mario,
it needs to be brought down to that level
Wario,
of simplicity.
Luigi, no.
Pick
Get
it
rid
on
of
the
Luigi.
There isn't a single game on the Wii U that I would even contemplate buying. Like, there's nothing that makes
to
me
be
want to
fair,
jump ship.
as like adults, we're not really their market, to be fair. But
Yeah.
That is true.
I reckon.
you'd buy it for a kid, though. I mean, if it was cheaper and... I don't know, because Sony, although like there are games for kids on PlayStation and Xboxes, you know, you do get that aggressive Xbox Live kind of attitude if they jump on a game, and they get all the advertising on the front pages for adult-themed games, so you have to monitor them a bit more. Whereas Nintendo, you know you're not going to get, you know,
Princess
some
Peach
like
getting her tits
aggressive
out.
teenage... Yeah, they're not going to hear as many... You know,
So, like,
for little kids, I mean, you
the
know,
next bunch
kids
of
do
Mario
like
games
games
are gonna be
still.
like pretty reboots of Mario and Mario Kart. They all have pretty backstories. It's all realistic looking. Like Toad is like addicted to heroin or something.
Really dark reimagining of the Mario universe.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I reckon. They should
Mario
do.
actually does
And
play.
adults only, Nintendo.
Yeah, or that, or like just redo all the old 64 games. That's it.
GoldenEye.
Yeah, just make it look. Just update the graphics.
But
make
they
it look
did
great, and then
just
put
do.
them
They did just do another James Bond, didn't they?
on. Did they?
Oh, did
Shit,
they?
man, I don't even know.
It was
Yeah, exactly.
garbage.
It was.
Garbage. As the French would say, le merde. Yeah,
That's
no,
the point I'm trying to
thing
make.
with
Yeah.
GoldenEye is it was revolutionary. So they just need to make like a revolutionary game. But I mean, not just a tired old tacked on James Bond game. That's not going to sell. But something that the other consoles can't offer.
It might come down to the control mechanism, or I mean that was probably what the biggest difference, and I suppose biggest point of difference between the consoles when the Wii first came out. It was in that whole Sony move slash. Xbox. No, Xbox didn't even have an equivalent of that, though, did they? Well, it was the first gen Kinect.
Not when it came out, no.
Yeah.
I just love all the compilations of people smashing their or chucking their
Their TVs.
consoles into the screens. They're the best. They didn't even use this right. Come on.
There was a website for that. It was called We Have a Problem, I think.
Yeah, we have a problem. Yeah.
That was hilarious.
If only Nintendo bought up stocks in TV companies.
That's a smart move.
The other question that came through was from iJars, who Jay probably knows. She said, female viewer,
A female?
Wow. That's the first one, right?
Ron, you better tidy up your language, big fella. There's a lady in the room.
Okay, well, this one's for her, okay? Here's going to be another time where you're going to censor me. Wait, hold on.
No.
Wait, what, you don't want to say anything fucked up?
Preferably not.
No.
Because after the podcast, I do actually spend a fair bit of time going through this and kicking off the render and doing the video and stuff like that. And the less editing I need to do, the better.
Fucked up now? Or
You can answer the question in the best way that you can possible. If that relates to doing unspeakable things to Ellen Page, then so be it. Question is this. Well, it's a very simple question, and we thank her for it. What was the very first video game you played? And if you could only play one game for the rest of your life, what would it be? Think back, 3-year-old Ronald.
So I looked over at my brother because I'm just like, because if the very first game I would have played, he would have been there with me. The fucking Duck Hunt? Or the very first one? No. We played it over at, yeah, and shit like that. Like,
Referring to his brain's trust.
That's it. Yeah, let's go to the panel.
Video games have destroyed his brain.
Ben?
Yeah. Oh, that and this too.
Yeah.
Do you remember, Ben?
I'm still thinking. Obviously the first thing that comes to is Sonic the Hedgehog, but there was stuff way before that too. That was the first console I had, the Mega Drive,
Wonder
which
Boy
I still have.
on the Master System for me.
Yeah.
Wonder Boy?
Was that very first?
On the
Yeah,
Master
that was
System.
Wonder Boy.
Jay's deep in thought.
Well, I remember as a family, we had an Atari 2600. But it was quite a way after it came out. It wasn't like when it came out. But I do remember playing Pong, but that wasn't obviously, I mean, that came out in the 70s, and I was born in the 80s, so I don't remember what age I was when I played that. But I'd say my first memories of a games console is the Atari 2600, and then the first one I ever had that was mine was Mega Drive with Sonic the Hedgehog. So, yeah, I mean, Asteroids came built in with the 2600, so maybe it was that.
Yeah.
So,
I remember our PC had Asteroids as well, and some other jet fighter game, which I don't remember the name of.
Yeah, actually, the first game I played was Paint on the PC.
Paint.
yeah.
Wait, does that count? That
Doing a
doesn't count.
scribble.
That's not a game.
Surely not though, because didn't that come out like Windows 3.1? Because before that, wasn't it like DOS?
It was DOS.
MS
Yeah.
DOS, and that was it.
Yeah.
And the
That's true,
Commodore
that is
64.
true.
I remember playing games onto cassette tape. Like, I don't know if that was before the Atari
Cassette
2600.
I remember
Yeah, on
playing
Nan's PC, like in there.
I'm going to show my age here because I had a Sinclair Spectrum Plus 2, which was the tape drive with rubber keys.
Never even heard of that.
Sinclair was a guy. I think he was an English inventor. He came out with an electric, the very first like sort of personal electric car called the Sinclair C5, which was basically a white penis tricycle that ran on electric power.
a white penis
It looked,
tricycle.
picture a torpedo which one person can sit in that was electric powered,
Right.
and I think had 3 wheels, 2 at the back, 1 at the front. One of the biggest flops in technological history. And the ones that did
Nice
sell,
pun.
and the ones that did sell, funnily enough, went to a lot of OAPs who couldn't afford a car and just needed something to get about town, sort of thing.
Well, that's
So-
good, mate. But what about the game? Come on, who cares about this bike?
Sinclair,
What was the game?
he made his
It's
money.
like Chris's answer with hate. My
Well,
first game,
can't.
hate. That's not even a game.
He made his money in computing, so he came up with the Sinclair Spectrum,
Right, okay.
the Plus
Jesus
2, which is a
Christ.
tape drive, and the Plus
That's
3.
a fucking game.
There was a game called Aladdin. There was a game called
Aladdin.
Aladdin, yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
And you had to rewind the tape and hit play. It was almost like a fax machine. It had the sound of a fax machine when you were loading it up and stuff. It was horrific.
wow.
Yeah, it sounded like when you tried to connect to dial-up back in the day. It was
Yeah.
that kind of noise if you played it through a normal tape player.
And that just reminded me of the Prince of Persia as well.
It was a very much.
that could've-
It was kind of like that game actually. Yeah, it was very
Yeah.
Aladdin and Aladdin's
That game was mad.
carpet, magic carpet or something.
Yeah, I remember
Uh,
Prince Persia.
The other half of that question
Just
was,
like the movie.
I can say,
what game could you, if you could only play one game for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Well, Ron
Mario
was
Kart
obviously
64.
Beyond Two Souls.
Well, that serves,
Well, I mean,
that serves two
actually-
purposes, doesn't it? Really?
there's nothing really to play in that game. Like I've finished watching the story thing. The story's nice. It's nice, but it's like Heavy Rain. I wouldn't want to play that. You're not really playing anything. You're playing a movie.
You're,
You
you're
know,
part
so-
of a movie.
Yeah, I mean, sure, there's a really low level of interactivity, but you're not really playing it. I couldn't play that because I would only leave it on Ellen Page and play with myself.
Okay, I'll let that slide.
Are you going to censor that?
No, that's fine.
Good, that wasn't that bad. But the thing is, any game that I'll play forever, Mario Kart 64, or...
I've never heard of that. Tell me more.
Are you any good at it?
Are you any good at it? Are you going to put any outlandish claims out there? Or?
Yeah. Would I be able to beat you at it or what?
Yeah.
You
Would you
won
be able
one
to
game,
slay anyone,
but
per chance?
I would slay everybody. But the thing is, it would have to be best of 5 or something like that, and I'd have to put some...
I see.
Or something like that. That's... yeah.
The things with this question, is it a game...
Sorry, how many times did I beat you? Yeah.
Shitloads of times.
Yeah.
Shitloads of times.
One thing we didn't even mention was we played Battle as well. And we only went through all 4 of the courses, every single one of them. You didn't win any of them. So, like...
No.
Drifting off.
I got
Sorry,
destroyed.
Jay. You were cut off there, Jay. Sorry, you were answering that question.
I was just going to say, with this question, are we going to count a game where it like updates with mods and DLCs and things, or is it just a disc that you take away?
I'm going to say, thanks, Ron.
That's for Ben.
That's for me. Yep.
In this question, we'll assume that you have a Wi-Fi connection and you're allowed to have Apocalypse DLC and Peacekeeper weaponry and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, I was going to say DayZ, but as long as I can keep having new maps to play and new mods to play, not like just the one map and just the one mod of it, but if it kept updating, I think DayZ would be a great game. Because you can spend loads of time on it. It's online. It's frustrating, but there's lots to do.
Like a game that basically kind of continues. Because I want to check out the standalone, and the standalone, because I've never played the one that's out now. The standalone convinces me that's a contender for something that I would continuously play forever. If it keeps evolving in that.
But the mod's continuing evolving as well. I mean, Jay kind of stole my thunder a bit because that's the answer I was going to give, where I've been playing that for a couple of years now and still have not got bored of it at all. So, yeah, it's constantly evolving with all the new maps, the new mods, all that sort of stuff.
To be honest, I kind of wonder if the standalone's going to be better than the mods of the mod, if you know what I mean, because I think...
I have a feeling it's not going to be.
It's going to be something really different to what like hardcore DayZ fans are used to, and I think some of the market's probably just going to stay with the modding community and Arma 2 version, and then they're going to try and pick up the more casual with the standalone. Or I mean, we'll all try it, of course, but
it'll look nice. But I think just the gameplay of vanilla DayZ and all the other mods and stuff just will be a lot more fun.
Castro.
Well, I like the idea of DayZ, but 2 people have said that, so I'll have to go with something like Fallout 2. I could play that for ages.
Yes.
I still play that every now and then. Just because it's all based on decisions. There's so many options that you can go through.
You're one of the most indecisive persons I know, though, mate.
Well, that's why I can play it all the time. I'll be like, oh, I did this. I'll do it again. I'll do it the other way. What if I do it?
Right.
That is true.
I still have about like 6 saves on the go.
Yeah. That it's actually been kind of, I don't know what the proper term is, but sort of remastered in a sense, where they've fixed loads of bugs and unlocked certain areas which they were originally going to put in, but then never got around to it. So there's all these new missions, new maps, all the bug fixes, like certain climbs when you're in New Reno, where you go down a certain ladder, it'll just completely stuff up and then corrupt your save file after like hours and hours and hours of playing. They fix all that sort of stuff. So I think Good Old Games has that or something. I'm not sure. But yeah, check it out if you haven't already. Because a majority of Fallout people say that they still prefer Fallout 2 over Fallout 3.
Wow.
Yeah. Even though it looks completely different, the gameplay.
That's when they
really
changed
fun.
over to 3D and first person.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't reckon anything by Bethesda. You know, it'd be awesome when you mentioned Rockstar having the new IP. How mad would it be if it was Fallout 4 and Rockstar were doing it? They're just keeping... Bethesda is still part of it. They're just, like, not releasing that information yet. That'd be cool.
Well, I mean, big games like that can change can change studios and stuff. But
What was your first game, Gav?
my first game, that was the question before, wasn't it?
Yeah, wait, I'm a million miles away. Well, what was the new
The lag isn't that bad, is it? Jesus. No, my first game I played was a game called Aladdin's Carpet or something. It was on the Spectrum Plus 2. As for a game that I could play continually, I'm just looking through my collection here. I don't know. The 12-year-old in me
Are you a
probably
PC
said,
gamer or just console?
I've got a beast of a PC about 2 months ago,
Yeah.
so I will be
So-
a PC gamer. Sort of.
Because the thing with PC games is there's always mods which can, like, if you like the gameplay of a game, it can continue its life for a long time. People are still playing Gary's mod, like, Rock Hunt and all this crap, so that's I'd have to go with PC games, so always a good option, because console, once the disc is out, some of the time that's it. Like, if you had to play it forever, like, you can only go play one game.
Yeah.
You want something with a good, strong mod community, updated.
Yeah.
I mean, it might sound boring, but I mean, I can't imagine there's a COD game that I would want to keep playing forever and a day, so COD's probably out.
Yeah, that's a fair call. It can kind of.
But it is addictive, COD.
It is,
Like,
yeah. And
Mm.
that's the biggest thing I hate about some of these commentators that say about how... Cheers. How it's just one iteration after another. But then, what do you think about other franchises and other types of games? Like, unless you're doing something completely groundbreaking on something like FIFA or NBA 2K14 or any of these games where it's still based on the same premise of the sport where the rules are all the same, like why does COD suddenly get its own little category of, it's just the same freaking game year in, year out? And
well, the funny thing about that is that was always kind of the premise of the Battlefield fanboy, and now Battlefield 4's come out. It's basically Battlefield 3 with mods. It's like, well, now that's the same franchise every year. So
you got nothing to say now, assholes.
I mean, I like the fact it's the same. But
if they change it too much, everyone's just gonna go nuts.
To be fair, I think this one's different enough for people, for it to take, because what I always wanted was it to take a while to be good at the next one. Instead of like, well, I'm great at Black Ops 2, so my skills are automatically going to just adjust to ghosts, and I'm going to know everything about it. But when you add in things like they've got new movement, kind of the way the movement works, and the way, hip fire might be different, and all these little mechanics might be different, it takes you a few months to be good at it, because the one thing that is boring, I think, is when you know the game inside out from day one, which, although you want the familiarity of COD and you want to be decent at it, it's nice to have enough changes in it to make it. Yeah, because it's better that way. I mean, it's not completely the same, because I know people who are great at Modern Warfare 3 and struggled more in Black Ops 2 and the other way around. So as long as it's got enough difference to it, but it does feel a lot like Modern Warfare 3, but there's a lot of changes. I mean, just little things like, for instance, if you can't just keep tapping sprint to run forward, because if you tap it twice, you stop. And like for the last 5 years, when I'm sprinting, I just keep on pressing the sprint, and automatically now you've got to discipline yourself to press it once and not stop. And now you can shoot while you climb and all that. And when you first jump on, you don't realise you can shoot while you climb because you're so used to not. But now, just little things like that you'll learn. So
yeah, I saw you do that in one of your recent ones, your crank video, and I was like, damn, that's pretty cool. Like jumping over barriers and stuff and still being able to shoot. And
that's one thing I noticed no one else had shown off, and I only showed it off by accident because I panicked because someone was there. I climbed up something, I just held the shoot button because I was like, oh my god. And he actually started shooting while climbing the edge, and I was like, wow, that's kind of different. Like, I don't know how accurate. It doesn't look very accurate, but it's something, I suppose.
yeah.
Can you shoot while you dive?
Sorry?
Can you shoot while you dive?
You
how you
can't
do
dive,
that?
you can slide. You don't dolphin dive, you knee slide in this game. I think you can shoot like hip fire quite inaccurately, but I can't remember exactly. But yeah, that's their mechanic of dolphin diving, it's the knee slide. And no one was really doing it, but I think once people get more confident in a game, people will start sliding. Because I think it's a little faster than running. So if you really want that bit of cover, I think people will knee slide into it, which will be a cool thing to watch. So
It's
Yeah,
it's
there
the
are
new
a
stuff.
few
I was
things
dolphin diving, and
Yeah,
I was a bit disappointed I couldn't shoot when I dolphin dived.
that is the thing with dolphin diving. It is a bit clumsy and a bit slow, and like you have to recover from it. But because
Yeah.
Infinity Ward always make fast games, they've got the knee slide and the shoot while climbing, and they're going to have the run sprint while reload perk if you want that as well. So I think the slide will be something that you won't really notice at first, but after a while it will become really common. You'll see people like sliding. If it turns out to be faster, like as something like me and Drifter and people like that will be investigating, like all these little things to give you a little bit of an edge, and that people don't realise yet.
I can't wait for the knee slide montages.
Yeah, knee slide. Well, there is a game mode called Blitz where you have to get to the portal, and once people got used to knee slide, that was it. Everyone was knee sliding into the portal, like because it just looks so badass compared to just like running in and then disappearing. Everyone wants to just like bam, like do a sliding challenge into it, and just makes it a bit more dramatic.
Like you're playing baseball, like coming into home plate. Just...
Yeah, that's what it is. It's just like that. It's pretty cool.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Come on, Robin. It's just coming out, you know.
Well, here's something that might shut you up, because this iJars girl from Jay's streams wants to see a picture of you in your early teens.
I'm sorry,
Picture of
mate?
Ronald.
That shut you up, didn't it? Yes, you.
Wait, what? Who is this girl?
A fan.
Oh, you're interested now? Yeah.
No, I was interested before when I was like, what does she look like? And then I was going to say something really fucked up there. But she wants to see a picture of me in my teens?
To be fair, she's a fan of Jay's, and me being in Jay's streams a lot, you know, we'll sort of get to know each other kind of thing. And now she's a supporter of the show and follows me on Twitter and whatnot. So
That's
she's
cool.
an avid viewer and wants to see, because she said to answer, this is exactly what she said, to answer Ron's question about the pick of Skillsy's sister or girlfriend, which we spoke about last week. I want to see a picture of Ron in his early teens.
Yeah, you know what? Okay, actually, if I
take
get
that
a
as you
picture
will.
of that and I hold it up here, you have to pull out a picture of your sister and your girlfriend and hold them up where you're at.
Why would I even do that?
Ooh.
See? There we go. I'll happily do it. I'm just like, okay.
Do it for
sure.
your fans, Skillsy.
Yeah, do it for your fans.
The fapping will be monstrous, so... So, sorry, iJars, if you want individual pictures of Ron in his early teens, pre-mustache and goatee beard and whatnot, you'll have to
No, he had that mustache.
email him
So
at
is iJar saying she's got a bit of a crush on Ron? Is that what's happening
I
here?
wouldn't say crush, it was more just a response to maybe spring into my defence maybe about pictures
Yeah,
of...
I think she was just having a dig at me because I was like pushing for the picture of your sister and girlfriend. So
Yeah.
that's fair enough.
I don't know her situation, mate, so if you want an international
knows?
pen pal, go for your life.
I'm good. I don't write that much, so.
I'm not much of a writer.
It's strong silent
Yeah.
type, aren't you?
No,
How's
the
about
guy who
this?
eats and drinks.
How cool does this sound, right? It's probably a bit close to home for you as well, Jay. There's an ASDA in York in the UK, which is offering 3D printing, and you can go in there and scan your body and turn it into I think it's like a 9 or 10 centimeter figurine for £40.
Oh, that's awesome.
Why can't
That's
we have...
cool. I mean, I suppose it would just be plain though. Like you could paint it yourself or
No,
something.
they do
or-
everything. They
Oh,
do
so they'll
everything.
actually recreate you 100%.
Yep, what you're wearing
Clothes
at
and
the
all.
time. Yeah,
Wow.
it was right near the checkouts. I don't know where I found it, but it'd be online somewhere.
Hey, where's my car keys? I'm going.
That's
Like
it.
that sounds awesome.
How far's York from
I'll
you?
do that.
Is it like a
No, York's a long way from me.
is it like a GI Joe figure? Like all the parts are movable, or is it just
Oh,
like
that would be good.
No, it's
still?
basically
I think it's just like a statue.
it's a block
It's
of
kind
resin.
of like a bit, you know. I would have one of yourself. I can't think of the word. Is it like narcissistic or it's like a bit feeling a bit into
Narcissistic,
yourself?
Egotistical.
I
Egotistical.
suppose if
yeah.
you were like a really, if you were a really like protective boyfriend, you could like do one yourself and like put it on your girlfriend's desk at work or something. Be like that. As a reminder.
Hey,
With your arms crossed.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make one of those and I'm gonna send it to what's her name? iJars. Is that it?
A Ron statue. Yeah, you could start selling them, couldn't you?
Like a photo of you back when you were 16, Ron.
Yeah. That's the one. That's the one I'm gonna get made. We have that made. We'll have that
I need to see
sent
if I can get these in my store, like where I sell the t-shirts, like figurines of myself as well. That'd be fun.
That'd be sweet. Even if there was like a £10 markup on them, like £50 or whatever. Like
You could have like a
worth
desk of all your favourite YouTubers.
Oh.
It'd be brilliant.
There's not enough plastic in the world.
Killing them one by one. Getting out the magnifying glass.
You can pretend you're having a dual con with one of them. Just set the camera up a bit funny.
The
Extra views.
collection builds each week for £1.75.
Oh my god.
It was funny because they were quick to sort of put a nice softer angle on it. There was a guy who said, "Oh yeah, because there's so many different uses for these things. There's a man who came in and his wife or his nan, or no, his mum was in an aged care facility, so he did one of himself just so he could be around her all the
It's
time."
different to a picture, isn't it, I suppose?
Is that
The next
like
thing they'll put
candy
like
lips?
tape recordings in.
Yeah, that's it.
Like pull the string and it does a little saying or something.
Hi mum, sorry I can't be there today. Had to work back at the
Hope you're having
office.
fun in your care home.
Oh, holy shit. Sorry, my brother just looked it up, and he's showing me how they make it. It looks like they don't move at all. It's just like a little statue.
it's
That
fake.
is really fucking good, though.
It's a solid block of resin that is
Yeah.
3D printed, and they just air blast it to get rid of the slag, I suppose, as it were.
That's really good.
I'd probably
That's,
pay
uh,
£10,
that's
£20
the
though.
research department.
Yeah.
40 is a bit expensive, but maybe for a gift, I suppose. But then to give a gift of yourself again, that's a bit strange.
That's
I don't know.
perfect for Ronald.
I think that's why I'm going to do it.
They started off the story with like Dr. Evil going, "I shall call him Mini Me." It's kind of cool. Let's have a look
But
here.
can you improve it, or is it just a straight copy?
Yeah, it's just the straight copy from what I saw.
So if you don't have a six-pack, can you get them to put a six-pack in?
I mean, I think that's if your shirt's off as well. Like,
I dare say there'd probably be some itemizations that you put a bigger dick in there, or you could like 2 pounds per ab, because
wait, you guys are doing like nude versions of yourselves?
well, I don't
Okay, I'll do
think
that.
I don't think the patrons of
Why
Asda would
else would you
find
get
that
one?
all that appealing. You standing there in aisle 4 whilst you just got completely buck naked, and someone's sitting there shopping for tins of tinned corn or something.
It would not bother me in the slightest.
Clean up aisle 4.
Mm.
Yeah, just struck me as funny. Another thing that was funny in movie news. What a lovely segue. Michael Bay was punched or assaulted on the set of Transformers 4 earlier this week.
Bullshit.
By an actor?
No, it was funny. They were paid. They were doing a street scene in Hong Kong or something, or Beijing or somewhere, and they'd obviously paid off each of the shop fronts to basically close off the street for inconveniencing them. To say, look, sorry, we've got to close down the street. We're filming a movie. Here's I think it was like $4,000 American, and this one store owner had like this posse of people that were asking for 4 times that, and if they didn't, they'd basically make you have a bad day. So this one guy came back with an air conditioner and tried to throw it at Michael Bay. Apparently one of them got a punch in somewhere, but
A real air conditioner.
like an air conditioning block that you just bolt to
I
the side
love
of a
how,
house.
like, I'm not going to throw eggs or fruit or anything, but we have like a fuckload of spare air conditioners just hanging around the back. Like, I'll just throw one of those at it.
I shall go to the store.
How big was this guy? Like, you said it was in China. Like, that's
Well,
a pretty big feat for him to throw an air conditioner.
I'll read
You
the
better
story.
say something racist, Chris. Are ya? Just think about it, Kent. I'll kill ya.
Well, I mean, how big? Like, air conditioners are quite big.
Sorry, is that
I
the
mean,
one? Is that the one takeaway you're taking away from this question? How big was this air conditioner?
To be fair, they're really heavy. Like, so when someone says they throw an air conditioner at him, I'm pretty impressed. Like,
All you guys going to try to say something like that I'm not hearing here? That
I'll read the story.
Kind of small. Well, we are. So fuck yous.
According
No,
to
I mean,
Stop
like,
fishing, Ronald.
I just genuinely want to know how big this guy is. I couldn't throw an air conditioner at someone.
let me
It must
finish.
be huge.
Let me read it and I'll tell you, right? According to Reuters, the two brothers own a shop nearby the shooting location and that he demanded to be paid because they felt the production was hurting their business. Supposedly the conversation became heated, one of the men punching Bay in the face.
Became heated. Nice pun again.
Zing!
Oh, that was
Lol.
fuck.
However, new reports say the man was using an air conditioning unit as a weapon, swinging it around, seemingly under the influence of drugs.
Maybe he thought this was Transformers 4. Maybe he thought the air conditioner was Transformers.
Maybe he was auditioning.
It was Soundwave in new form.
So that stupid Mountain Dew bot from fucking Part 3.
That'd be funny if there was an air conditioning transformer though.
They'll put that in now. It'll be part of it.
Like a Transformer that kicks the shit out of the director.
Hey, don't laugh. Wasn't one of the in number 3? I think it was. There was the what's the bird that comes out of Soundwave's chest that turned itself into a photocopier?
A Xerox photocopier.
Yeah, product placement. Yeah,
The one that kills Spoiler Face. The one that kills
yeah. Chong.
the Dark Community. Ken Jeong.
Yeah, Kenya. Yeah.
Chang.
Chang.
Chang, yeah.
Senor Chang.
Ha! Gay!
Gay. I could watch that on loop forever. That was awesome.
Yeah. Have you seen the 10-hour one on YouTube?
No.
I love those psychos who do, like 10-hour clips of what, like a 2-second joke.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
In other funny news, did you see that they have unmasked the Northampton clown?
Oh,
Oh, hey, cool.
Yeah,
it's a development from our other story.
that's it.
I heard it was a publicity stunt. Is that what it was, or
Oh, really?
like for a
tourism.
local university? They
Well,
were trying to promote
Clown College.
Well, nah, just something scary, I suppose.
That's it.
I don't know.
You guys have held me back for too long. I'm going to clown college. Oh, none of us
Didn't
expected
expect
that.
that. No, he was a student. I didn't read anything about it being a publicity stunt. Mind you, though, I mean, more power to them. They just found yet another way of engaging social media to get people through.
Yeah,
the
well, I mean, I went on, like, they had a Facebook page for it and everything, and, like, all the comments were saying, oh, it's a publicity for this university and all this, and
Okay.
I don't know what it was promoting, but I think that was the idea.
Is Northampton that good a place to go to? Is it the tourism board in Northampton, or
I've never been there. So.
clearly
It's
it
one of those
works?
things like, I know the place. I just sure shit ain't going there.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it is. Wow, okay. Anybody from there who's watching this, blame the guy to my right. Hold on. This guy.
To your right.
Shit, man, I'm a retard. To my left. It's to my right because my thingy got switched.
That's on film.
You're right the first time.
No excuses. Okay, the guy to my left, which is here.
I'm going to do a 10-hour loop of "You're an idiot" since you made that frank admission. That's awesome.
Well, I'm just glad you didn't do the one from last week where I said I like looking at pictures of men's penises.
You just reminded me. Yeah.
Well, I forgot
Oh,
about
shit.
that.
Another
I was
soundbite.
surprised that didn't get looped.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of movies, I came across a list detailing the 5 most disappointing films of all time. I want to see if you can name any of them.
Really.
Huh?
Twilight.
So many sequels. So many.
There are a few sequels in there.
All the fucking Star Wars ones. The early ones. I mean,
Which one?
The prequels.
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace.
Jar
Yeah.
Jar Binks ones.
That was
Just
one of
1,
them.
2, 3.
Well,
I think it was like a time reference, like in modern or 80s, 90s.
a lot of them are modern, bar one of them.
Alright. Is there a Superman movie in there?
There is a something man in there.
Oh.
there's Indiana Jones. The last Indiana Jones.
Oh
right?
yeah, that was
yeah.
terrible.
Yeah. That's
Indiana
definitely-
Jones and the Crystal Skulls.
That is
Yeah.
another one.
Yes! Boom! Okay, that's it. I'm on break.
That's the
Fuck
top
this.
2.
Boom!
Oh, really?
That's the top two. There are 3 more to go. 2 of which are modern, 1 of which is kind of old schoolish.
And
kind of
are they
surprising.
sequels? Can we get that? Or
1 of them is a sequel, yeah, or a third in the series. I'll give you that. That was kind of like what you asked before.
is
Whether
it
or not
Terminator?
Nope.
No.
You asked me before if it was Superman, Superman. But it's
Oh,
Spider-Man
Spider-Man.
3.
Oh, Spider-Man.
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, that was number 3.
Is that the one with the dance scene in it?
Where he goes emo.
Yeah.
Yeah, fucking horrific.
Fuck, that was hilarious.
For all the wrong reasons.
That's gold. I swear to God, they gave that to like the work experience kid to write that part, and he's just like, I don't know, fuck it, I'll put this in.
Yeah. I'm
That
emo.
was so bad. Yeah.
The other 2 ones are kind of hard. You probably wouldn't get them. Godfather Part 3 and Watchmen.
Oh man.
Oh, I forgot about that one.
What?
Godfather Part 3.
I thought you said they were modern. That's not really modern.
But
Well, that was the one that
like-
wasn't.
Yeah.
What's the other one?
Okay.
Watchmen.
What?
That was
Yeah, that was a bit weird.
I like that.
That's good to have a giant penis in it.
Oh, that's a good burn. Thanks, Chris. You know what? I'm not defending you anymore when it comes to that fucking Saints Row 2 thing, okay? So, fuck you, I'm gonna remember this. Alright?
You weren't defending me anyway. You were singling me out.
That's true. I couldn't help it. It's just the stupidest thing ever. Anyways. Sorry,
Saints Row 1,
also,
man.
yeah.
It's a game. It's a game. Trust me.
Yeah.
What else was there? What else did I have here?
Okay, wow.
No,
Okay, that's the
it was.
longest
I was just
minute.
going through them. One of which I had some. I had a couple of questions for Jay actually.
Go for it.
Okay, that's it. I'm on another break.
Well, it's not
Ah.
specifically. Seriously, you're going?
No, I'm still here.
Oh, good.
Just getting some spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
We've broken the seal.
Yeah. Beginner mistake.
So we talked a couple of weeks ago about them releasing the Steam specs, and whether or not you think it's going to be as game changing as what people give it credit for. Are you excited for the Steam happenings? Given that a lot of
Well,
your
me personally. Well, the Steam box.
yeah,
Well, personally not really, because I like my PC and I have a console. I'm not really looking for a hybrid of the two, but I don't know. I don't really see it being that big because it's kind of like not a... Like Steam isn't really like a family thing, and the console is the only market they've got if it's not hardcore PC gamers is the more casual market. So I think it will be good for sure. Whether it's going to be commercially a big success, something else. But I think they'll make something that is really good and that will be a good thing to have. But I don't see it being like the next major product like the Wii was or something like that. Sold a ridiculous amount or... But
Well, you can still put the operating system on your computer. So
I mean, I've got a controller I can use, and I can just plug my Steam into my TV, and I can just go on like big picture mode, and it basically runs like the same thing. So I think PC gamers like myself aren't going to be. I'm too excited about it, but people love Steam. They do things well, so on that hand, it is something to look forward to. I like the idea of the joypad with the two touchpads, because I like the idea that they're trying to bring like a mouse to a gamepad. Like really, if it's really well built and a really nice piece of kit, you might be able to get some really good accuracy on FPS games using a control pad, which would be nice.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of felt like it was that middle ground between people who thought that the current next gen consoles, even though they're basically full of some pretty awesome PC hardware, it's not all that up to date.
No,
And the
not really.
customization side of things as well. So it almost felt like a console that you weren't
depending
limited.
on its size, you can't really customize it. Like if it's the size of a console, there's not really going to be much you can do.
No, it's more about
Like the Steam box.
there being actual good like video cards that are less than 6 months old or whatever. Because I mean, depending on the specs that you end up getting, I mean, you can get the ones with Titans in.
What, a Steam box?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
But
Really?
they were the test kits though, weren't they? They weren't actually going to be released with the Titan. They were just
they
the
have
test kits.
3 versions. There's the good, better, best, and the best was with the Titan.
Well, I'd be interested in the Steam box of a Titan, don't get me wrong, but depends on the price point. And obviously I do have a PC, so it might make more sense to just upgrade it to the point where it performs the same. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But I think it would blow people away, like in the living room. If you could get like the absolute latest PC graphics card in the living room and go to people like, I'm going to play a game, and they saw it on a big screen, I think a lot of people would be blown away, even with the new generation of consoles coming out, because I think for the first year, the next-gen graphics are going to be great, but not like blow people away. I mean, I've been playing 1080p games at 60 frames a second for a few years now, ever since I had my 590 GTX, and when I play that and then I look at PS4, Xbox One graphics, I'm like, well, I've still got better graphics on my PC, so
For sure.
I mean, it's nice, but yeah, I think if you show that to people, like, I don't know how expensive that would be, but it's probably going to be about £500 at least with a Titan. I mean, don't they cost like £600? So
Themselves, they do.
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
It's going to be an expensive console.
It'd be really impressive in the living room. Yeah, I think that would blow people away a bit because I think next gen looks good. If you have like Titans and those kind of graphics cards, it's gonna be cool.
'Cause it's now given me, that fork in the road now between previously without a PC, I would have just gone, right, I'll just get it for the console. But now it's like,
But the thing is, if that comes out, if you do mainly PC gaming, do you save up for the best Steam box or do you save up for a new PC? Depends how much you use your PC for other things, I suppose.
yeah.
Well, that's where I am kind of at the moment. With Watch Dogs and that, with their spec list, I'm at the point where do I wait for a new Steam box to come out and buy the best, or do I go out and upgrade my computer? So
Or buy
it's
console.
a bit hard. Well, or buy a console.
Yeah, I feel that is the nice thing with consoles. You know it's going to perform well because it's been, well, if it's a good developer.
It's optimized, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was listening to, it's more of a YouTube related question because I think it's probably something pertinent to all of us here rather. I was listening to one of your Beast casts from probably 18 months ago maybe, and it was funny. We mentioned it to Ghibli last week and how his sort of YouTube playlists have sort of changed over the last 12 to 18 months.
Yeah.
Are there people that you watch these days that you might not necessarily have thought would have gotten all that big 12 months ago? Or?
Well, I mean, I'm discovering new people all the time. So, yeah, I suppose I do watch. I don't really watch people based on whether they're doing well. I mean, there's some people I watch who don't have many subs at all. But, yeah, I'm not really drawn to the biggest channels because I don't think they're the best content, by a mile. So, although the mass general market is pushed towards the big channels, yeah, I mean, my tastes change in YouTube all the time. There are some people that I've watched for years and I'm still dipping in and out of their content, but you do normally kind of tend to stick to one or two or maybe three people for a few months, and then maybe, depending on what they upload and how their channel evolves, move on to someone else who's doing something else you like. Like, you might all of a sudden, when I got a PC, a really nice gaming PC, I kind of got a bit more attracted to people who did PC games and high-end stuff like that. So, yeah, my taste changed massively. But there are people I have watched over a long time.
Sorry, what?
Are any of those the channels that you watch, are any of them the zip popping or cyst popping videos?
Well, they don't do regular content really. They tend to just pop up, don't they? Literally, those videos. So you
I think if if your
if,
channel
if
gets
there was
to
a
the
dedicated channel, I would subscribe.
I'll find one for you. I'll pass it on if I can find one. But...
Yeah. Well, maybe if I just keep trying to get more spots myself, I can start my own one up and just weekly spot picking.
I think if any channel gets to the point where they're able to do weekly zip pops, they've probably got bigger problems than YouTube growth, rather than growths on their person.
Oh, I don't know.
It
would be gross, but you'd watch, so
That actually makes me kind
that's
of
what it comes down to.
Oh, God, it'd be awful.
I think they make good vines though. A spot picking vine channel that goes down well.
I've watched so many of those lately. My God,
I got sick of them after a week.
a lot of them are fail related. People trying that epic jump over that dustbin lid or something on a skateboard and ended up smashing their face on on the side of a fence post or something. Yeah, good job. Benny, what are you watching on YouTube these days, mate?
A little bit of Minecraft lately, which I haven't played since shortly after it was released. There's a new mod which I saw some other YouTubers playing, and then my brother and I fired it up again. And so just mod videos relating to that. It's been pretty interesting. The I think it's Galacticraft one, where you go onto the moon. So that's pretty funny. So you can either watch the funny ones where they spend 10 episodes just bumbling around doing jack shit, or the good players where in 20 minutes they're basically on the moon. So that's pretty funny.
Can you explain to a complete Minecraft newbie who is yet to find the appeal, and this is to everybody, what actually is the appeal behind Minecraft? I mean, I'm a designer, so I know it's the design
Playing with
aspect
Lego,
of it.
isn't it?
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Well, it's
what
at first for me it was kind of just. Sorry.
Is that basically kind of like playing with virtual Lego blocks, except there's piss loads more you can do, and the Lego blocks are unlimited?
Pretty much. I mean, at first it's curiosity. You kind of just want to see what the big deal is with it. That's what it was like at first. And then, you're just building things, most basic things from scratch, and then you're building on that, and then building on that, and then you're building really complex things with really hard things that you have to obviously mine and then craft with. And then, pretty clever. So yeah.
Got that reference.
The
I
stuff's
think it's
really
a bit of an escape as well, because sometimes when I used to play Minecraft, I'd find myself you just throw hours into it, because there's always something to do in terms of I've got to organise the chest, then I've got to go get the food, then I've got to go get some wood, then I've got to turn the wood into, and it's almost like you're running a little house. Do you know what I mean?
There's always little
bits and bobs to do.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was never a big kind of building. I never used to build amazing structures, but I'd like to. There's lots of things you do throughout the day, like your little daily chores in Minecraft, and it's not so much that it's an amazing experience. It's more of it just takes you out of your daily life, and it's just like kind of you just forget your stresses. It's just like a little bit of an escape, but it's just all these little things you need to do, and
you're discovering things as well. Like there's really good design behind it on certain items you can make, and it's like a lot of thought has gone to it. And it's really fun finding that.
And what you get attacked by monsters every night or something?
Oh well, yeah. When it goes dark, all the monsters come out. Or if you're in a dark cave, there's monsters already in there. So you also got to build, weapons and stuff like that, so you can get through. And
it's almost a little bit like The Sims in that way. Kind of, it's just you've got to go through your daily life, and I don't know, just.
And it's definitely. I mean, the novelty can. Or what it did for me, playing just by yourself, the novelty can wear off pretty quick. But if you're playing with friends, it's almost like Gary's mod in a sense, where it's just a lot of fun, and then it's really funny as well.
In saying that though, Jay, I watched a lot of your Sim stuff, and just in terms of that life management kind of game, I mean, I found that infinitely more enjoyable. Maybe it's
Than
just
Minecraft.
than Minecraft. Yeah, it was. Maybe it's just me watching, because I can't watch Minecraft. Like, that's probably the only stuff of yours that I don't actually watch.
I don't watch Minecraft either, to be fair. I can only play it, and then even then, I'm pretty tired of it now. So
With your Sims stuff, did you do things like you invited the neighbors over and then you would build 4 walls around them and they'd be stuck in your house and they would have to die there?
I didn't really talk to
That was
people too
fine.
much. Too much of a nice guy. I can't do it. I'm like, I feel bad.
They piss themselves and everything.
Yeah.
They just
No, you-
not to cry.
You're supposed to have a party, get everyone in the pool, and then take the ladder out, and you've got like
Yeah.
10 people in the pool.
They all
There's no way to
It's
get
not
out.
sadistic, you know. I just want people to have a good time.
A perfect serial killer game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in there trying to recreate the Jigsaw house. I want to play a game.
Yeah. I mean, for me, if I want to do stuff like that, Call of Duty gets the violence kind of thing going and whatever, competitive. When I'm playing The Sims, I'm literally just relaxing and being stupid. I'm not. But there is fun things you can do like that, for sure. It's weird because I hate like decorating. Like when it comes to my house or anything, if anyone says the word like decorating, I'm like no, please, just not. But when it's in The Sims, I'll take like 2 hours finding the right wallpaper and
The menu music, that's why. It's the best menu music ever.
that
You're
is
like,
amazing.
design everything.
You're sitting there
this
picking out
music can
couch
keep on
cushions and throw scatter cushions.
Yeah.
Interior decorator designer simulator.
Yeah, but people like that. It's just escapism. That's what gaming is for some people. It's not they want enthralling gameplay that's really complex and interesting. They just want something to take their mind off things and that's kind of a little interesting, I suppose.
That's true. Right. That's why I'm getting
But
Also,
yeah. But the Minecraft videos, like the Let's Plays, can get pretty boring. But some of them are pretty good, like the Yogscast one where they make the Jaffa Factory, where they're just making Jaffa cakes. And I think there's 120 something episodes, and they're 20 minutes each. And I've watched all of them, which is just insane.
I've got to thank you for that.
They just make a fucking Jaffa Factory.
You put me onto that.
But I can't watch any other people. Yeah.
Can other people with their Minecraft accounts go into other people's places and see like this Jaffa Factory from where they are? Can they do that?
Oh, if you share the address and stuff, but you're not going to share the address if it's a private server.
Yeah, because you'll go in there, build a swimming pool, and take the ladder out, and just fuck everyone
I mean,
up.
if you wanted, you could put it on a server and then have it so anyone else who joins the server can't edit anything.
Yeah, or
But
make a
then when you
clone of
want
it
to
or
play
something.
on it, when you want to play on it, you don't want all these people just walking around doing nothing. Do you know what I mean? So
Fair enough.
you could, but
They'll be trying to kill each other. And Spirit
Walk around with
playing
TNT and just trying to kill each other.
that's pretty much what it boils down to when you let other people on your server or on your map. It's just, it's pretty frustrating.
chaos.
Just turns into GTA Online, doesn't it? Really?
Pretty much.
Which
Right.
everyone whinges about. Oh, I'm trying to play GTA Online and some guy just shot me, and it's like, well, DayZ players that's been happening to us for since day one.
I think
then
DayZ's a little
You
bit
know how
cooler though. Like,
that's the idea, though, right? Like the whole survivors thing, and it's like, well,
technically,
But
for me,
actually,
with
I've
DayZ,
got-
at first, I never wanted to kill anyone because also the combat in that is quite difficult. Like, it's quite a steep learning curve. Like, the mechanics of killing people, like the shooting and the getting your ammo and reloading and getting your gun ready. So it's kind of, but once you get good at that, yeah, you kind of get a bit of bloodlust. But the thing is with DayZ, which makes it challenging, is if you like start shooting at someone and you miss, that's
You're
it. Like, you
dead.
just start panicking because you don't know the other person. They could be a shit hot sniper or something, and they will just destroy you. Like, as soon as you draw, like,
and it doesn't
it's
say
the
what
choice of
what
do you
sector
draw
up
attention to yourself, or do you let them do you let them walk by and survive, or do you take the risk of shooting them, maybe killing them, getting their stuff, or just letting everyone around you know that you're shooting your gun off and they'll hear you, they might come for you, and it's that kind of predicament that's in DayZ you don't get in other games. It's like,
Well, that's cool.
It's funny. Yeah, it's funny you say that because I told Gav this a couple of months ago now. I was actually on the Malsk, that map, and I saw you, Jay, and I had Lee Enfield.
He
and
had to
I
sit
was
there and
like-
masturbate really quickly.
How do you know it was me?
I think people in side chat were talking, and it was just before. It was either just before or just after you had this alien super weapon. I
Right.
think it must have been just before, and I had the Lee Enfield, and I was just running through. And I'm not usually on the European servers or different servers, but I was just trying the mouse map, and yeah, I took a pot shot at you, and everyone else heard and took me out pretty quickly. But that was a lot of fun.
That's it.
Well, that's the thing.
Everyone's got Jay's back.
Yeah,
It's the loudest.
yeah.
Like, if you shoot the
It's the
Enfield,
dinner bell. Yeah,
or you're probably going to die from someone else hearing you.
yeah.
Whereas if you had a silenced assault rifle, yeah, take some shots, but things like that you have to consider, because you're going to aggro every zombie within 500 meters, and then once the zombies are aggroed, everyone's going to know where you are because they're all going to run towards you. So
Yeah.
that is something. That's why DayZ is like no other game. But I can understand from an outside perspective, it is really difficult to get into, like really difficult. But once you get over that, there's no other game like it. So.
No.
I can.
It was worth it too. I'd do it again as well if I ever saw you. So.
Yeah, I've had some amazing shots of Lee Enfield. It's so satisfying when you get a long-range shot with that thing. And
It's funny because I use it more as an audio bit of entertainment. I'll have it on in the background and just listen to you and Ghibli. I think it was the birth of Sheboygan that kind of made it for me. Just kicking back and doing my work at work. And
well, the good thing is it's a good streaming game because most of the time nothing happens. And for some people, like that's a bit like, oh, like nothing's happening. But if you're playing or if you know the game, that's what makes the actual gunfights that much more intense. Because you're just walking around in the wild, and then all of a sudden you just spot a
There's
little bit
someone
of
there.
movement in the distance, and you're like, oh shit, like it's go time, like. And then it's like you get these big standoffs sometimes if you know that you're at the same airfield, but there's some people you saw movement over the other side, or you heard a gun go off, and that's so much more intense than just running into a map on COD and just like spraying down a few people. Like it's fun, but it's not like
It's
DayZ, like
Asparagus
proper
kind of
intense.
especially when you've been alive for several hours and you've got good gear and you're like, I don't want to lose all this and I don't want to start from scratch again. Even though starting from scratch is fun, but it's like, I don't want to lose this gun. I've had this for way too long.
That changes depending on the server, because some servers you jump in and you've got nothing, and it takes ages to get any kind of decent guns, food, all your supplies. Whereas other servers, they'll have custom setups so that there are lots of decent weapons around. So if you do take a death, it's annoying, but it's only going to take you half hour to have a bit of gear and be able to defend yourself. Whereas on the default servers, once you take a death, like you can spend 2 hours then trying to gear up, and you might get shot in the process. So you can spend all day playing DayZ sometimes on a default server, and you've never even had a decent gun, and all that's happened is you've got killed every time you went to a city. So there's
It's funny, See, I like the
payoff.
hardcore sort of one
You're
where you
really
just
selling
start
it
off with
to
a
me.
Band-Aid and painkillers. But that's the thing, it's
Yeah.
Or
it
you could
doesn't
do
matter
like
when
I
you
did
die.
and decide to walk over the mountain, which was a terrible idea because there's nothing up there.
Forest Walker Simulator
What's-
for
what's always
2013.
rough there?
it does kind of sound like all you need to do is step over a log and you break your leg like instantaneously.
Well, that does happen.
I've broken my leg opening a door plenty of times.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I broke my
Pretty
leg on a
realistic in
ladder.
that sense.
Broke my leg on a barbed wire fence.
You can break your leg like climbing a ladder.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
hold on. Is it just you climbing up and then it just says...
It's just
a little
glitches in the
pop
game.
comes up.
Yeah. But you pick up
That's
on it after a
intentional,
while.
it all.
You
I had somebody
know to do
run
certain
past
things
me
and not other
and my
things.
leg broke.
Yeah, but so after a while you just realise like when you go open the door and there's someone like standing in it and you're standing at the wrong side of it, in between it you're like, do I risk opening this door and potentially break my leg, or do I just leave it? Do you know what I mean? That is almost a part of the game after a while. It's like, if you try and vault over things and open doors where it looks like it's going to glitch out, you do risk breaking your leg and maybe dying. So
Ah, the glitch
it's
as
annoying
well.
when you aren't expecting it, but
I still want to give it a try, but only the standalone. When the standalone comes out and where I won't break my leg because of a glitch in the game.
That's half the fun.
Yeah.
All the stories I've heard,
It's
it
fun
sounds
crawling around for hours trying to find some
Yeah.
morphine.
Me and Ben were trying to crawl to each other just to kill each other, so we could get.
it's so
Yeah,
sad.
So we
when
can
it-
respawn.
You'll have my
It's
back, I'll have
down.
yours in. But let's just chat. Come on, man, I got you. as soon as you see each other.
But that's the thing. Like, you'll want someone to kill you, so you'll ask in side chat, "Oh, can you please come to this town and kill me so I can respawn?"
And they
And they're
won't.
like, "No, it's a trap. I'm not going there. No way." It's like,
You
oh,
can
shit.
respawn once you broke your leg now, so
Oh,
Oh,
okay.
you
used to
can.
be like that.
Oh,
you just press escape and it'll respawn.
no, before it didn't work. We would escape
No.
and then it'd load us back in with a broken leg.
Can you
No,
shoot
but
yourself
on the
in or something?
menu.
Can you like kill yourself
What?
in the game? Can you kill yourself or something like that? Like
Coward's
Only
way
by
out.
like only
Yeah.
by like jumping off something and then
Yeah,
bleeding
you always
out.
you go
So
to
you can't
the,
do it
the
when you got a
lighthouse.
broken leg.
There is a mod where in some servers you can, but in the default game, no. And you can always just go up to some zombies and just let them
Yeah.
keep hitting the shit out of you until you're dead. If you wanted to respawn somewhere else, but no, you can't just shoot yourself in the head or anything.
It kind of reminds you GTA Online. I actually was trying to find a car for Simeon, I think his name is, and
Simeon.
I finally found it. It took me forever. I find it, and I'm driving it down. There's a guy that's just waiting there at the garage that you're supposed to drive it into, and he's just fucking waiting there. He kills me immediately, and as soon as I spawn like not far from where he killed me, and there's a mad car just sitting right there, and he's driving around with the car that I need to, continue the mission, and like, I'm just like, okay, there's a mad car right here. I jump into it, and I catch up to him, and he rigged it. He blew me up. I mean, the good thing is, like, that's why I was just like, oh, it's right there in the middle of the road, and it wasn't there a second ago.
Those
the good
weren't
thing is,
LEDs, mate. They were sticky bombs.
yeah, well, whatever it was, like, at least I rammed into him, and then he pressed the blow up button and the detonator, and so I got him, but then he shot me in the face right after that. So well done. $2,000 on you, motherfucker. $2,000 on you. Yeah,
Those
I said it.
montages, though, Jay, like,
Well, the GTA ones.
Oh yeah, I checked those out, man. Those are pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I watched them today. They were hilarious.
What's up with the fucking ball disappearing?
I don't know why it
Oh,
disappeared.
yeah.
I was
It just
people
stopped.
were telling me I was streaming at the time. They're like, roll it all the way down to the beach. I was like, yeah, all right, I'll give it a go. Literally about half a mile out, it just pops. I was like, okay. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I did the pop sound effect myself, but it disappeared. So I was like, what?
What the fuck? I remember that. That was
Yeah,
funny.
it was funny. And I mean, the next one I'm doing, I've got some nice footage for it already. I'm going to try and get a bit more. But there was a time bit on the stream where we just tried to set a cow on fire. That was the kind of idea. We tried to set a cow on fire. And they kept running away, and you throw stuff at them, and they just constantly get away. But in the end, I managed to like slowly trap one into a corner with a truck, and then how did you set
Got
things
it.
on fire on that game? Oh yeah, and then obviously I lit the fuel can. I poured that all over the floor, and then I lit that with a spark of a gun, and we eventually managed to do it. I was like, I wonder what's going to happen. It was so funny. It just turned like, it almost instantly barbecued the cow. It was so funny to watch. It just went
But it just goes
completely...
jet black. It just like charged.
Yeah, it did. It just went jet black within a minute. I thought, oh god, I wish I could... But it's really difficult to do, because the cows just run. Do you know what I mean? Even if you start pouring your fuel can around them, they'll run away, because...
It's the same with the people
No,
on the
but,
beach.
yeah. So,
By the
That's
way,
why you
anybody
do
who works
sticky
for
bombs.
PETA, go for it. Go hard at Jay.
Yeah.
well, it was pretty humane. I mean, you know, they were farmed cows. They were there to be eaten, I suppose.
It wasn't,
just
wasn't
like-
I do
Daisy.
feel bad when I run over a dog, I have to admit. So.
Yeah.
Oh,
It wasn't
feel
like
bad for the dog.
Daisy the dairy cow in the paddock just about to get milked and we just set it on fire. It's fine.
I want my barbecue now.
Yeah. I wanted to try and mess around with some of the animals a bit more, but as soon as they see you, like the deers and things, they just run. Like,
They
so it's
run
really
or they
difficult to
attack
try and
you,
have a bit of fun with them.
What?
The cougars, like when you hear them, you hear them wow wow, and then
Yeah.
I turn around.
Just
it's
like in
they're
Red Dead.
right there.
I quick scoped a cougar on this hunting mission with Trevor just today actually. It's like see if you can shoot a coyote with a shotgun. I'm like, okay, cool. And then all of a sudden heard this thing behind me, spun around and still had my sniper rifle. Bang, quick scope this poor innocent cougar in the face.
Poor innocent cougar that was going to rip your face off.
Optic skillsy.
Should make a montage of it all. Just try and no scope them. Like,
I'm going to make a montage of just animal torture.
That'd go down well.
Good
luck with that one.
Good luck.
Hey, Jay, you gave me the idea.
That wasn't torture. It was
Trying to
more.
get some barbecue.
I was just
fucking,
hungry.
like,
Like, I suppose it was kind of
I'll
playing.
be working on it all week. Animal torture videos, yeah.
Just like
It's really difficult because you want to just herd the cow like and trap it in, but they always find a way out. It's kind of, I don't know. They're faster than you think.
Yeah, I gotta check that out. I've never paid attention to the animals in GTA as much as I did like in Red Dead, because you know the whole Deadeye thing and you use it heaps.
and the muscles.
I think there's more. You get like there's more achievements in Red Dead for hunting and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And you skin them at all. You can skin all of the animals and that kind of stuff. So
Yeah. And there used to be grizzly bears up in the mountains, didn't they? That was pretty intense. I used to like
They
that.
were ridiculous.
remember, there's the achievement if you kill it with a knife.
Yep, yeah, I did that.
I did. Yeah, I got that too. It took me forever. It's just what you rope him.
Yeah. But the great thing is you could do that in free roam online with your friends, and it was great fun. Just everyone chasing after this massive bear with a knife, and just if you've got 20 people trying to stab it, you've got a better chance. Like.
Only use my blade. Yeah. So Jay, I'm coming back to the UK at Christmas, mate.
Mm-hmm.
What can I expect out of the UK?
What part are you coming to?
Hertfordshire. Back to my hometown.
Well, you can
apparently
always go
you
to
guys-
Asda and get a model yourself.
Asda,
I want to go there just for that.
Asda in Stevenage or something. Letchworth.
Yeah. Hopefully, if they do it in all the Asda's are everywhere. I hope they start doing it everywhere.
I think it's piloted at that one store, but yeah, I hope it does. That'd be awesome.
That'd be so good.
Christmas gifts sorted. No,
Perfect. Yeah.
apparently you guys are on track to have one of the snowiest Christmases in snowiest
That's
winters.
just bollocks. They don't know what's going to happen with the weather next week, let alone next month. Like, it might snow in the winter a lot. Oh, what a surprise! Like, wow, great forecasting, bro. Like, I can tell you that. I don't believe all these things. Like, it's going to be the hottest summer. It's going to be the coldest winter. It is a bit all over the place here, to be honest. Like, I think it was last year. It snowed in April, which was a bit strange.
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's not too different now. We had a nice summer, to be fair, like by British standards.
Yep.
So I've got really no problem if we get snowed in a bit. It means we can have another nice summer. The only problem is I've got a rear-wheel drive car, so if I want to drive anywhere, that's completely out the window. So when it snows and gets icy.
That Mazda.
Yeah, it's a bitch to drive in the ice. It's basically like a hovermobile once it starts icing. So
Just cut a hole in the ground like the Flintstones and just walk it.
I don't know. I'll just confuse myself. Luckily, I kind of take the train places normally. If I ever need to go anywhere, it's normally you can get it by train. That's normally all right.
How was Eurogamer?
Eurogame was good, to be honest. Like, events like that are more about community networking than playing games. I mean, obviously I did go there. I played a lot of Ghosts, and we had like a recording event and all of that. Played a bit of Titanfall and things like that. But it was more about meeting my other people who do YouTube, really, and just talking to them about YouTube stuff, because I only see them. The people who do COD I see kind of regularly, because there's like events that they invite us to sometimes, but the people who I only really talk to online, it's nice to see them like once a year. It's almost like a bit of a YouTuber get-together.
Yeah.
But I don't play many games. Depends if I can skip a queue. Because we know the Call of Duty guys so well, they like let some of the YouTubers in to play quite a few games on a few of the consoles. But on other games where they're not like so into the YouTube scene or anything, I'm not really one for standing in queues for hours. But it's a good time because it's in London. So, everyone always goes out afterwards somewhere for a drink, and so Yeah, it's fun. It's more of a social thing than a
So
gamer thing.
your Ghost experience is nothing like what Chris and I went through the other week, where we queued for an hour, played one game, and then fucked off home.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
No, that is annoying. I've probably played about 15 hours on Ghosts altogether because I played it at Gamescom. We managed to sit there for 4 hours straight and play it. We had the recording event at Eurogamer, which was 2 hours, and also at Eurogamer they kind of let us play it if we turned up and managed to get into the little like VIP bit. So I've got a lot of game time on it. And to be fair, like the good news from my perspective is it's addictive. Like even though we had a very, very limited build, like only a few guns, only a few maps and game modes, I was more than happy to sit there and keep playing. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't like after a couple of games I was like, oh, I'm ready to go play something else. So I can imagine when it comes out, I'm gonna be more than happy to just sit there and plow through the ranks and unlock everything. So I think Call of Duty fans are gonna like it, but anyone who's not really sold on Call of Duty at the moment, I don't think it's gonna win many people over. But it's nice. I mean, obviously we played a version without aim assist, and I can't even stress enough how frustrating it is, like to play with a controller without any aim assist, and with a new controller, because I didn't like controllers, like those really light thumbsticks. It was painful.
Did you find in Ghosts the grenades were different? I could not.
Yeah, you can't throw them as far.
Yeah.
In a way, that's going to really frustrate the competitive scene, I think. 'Cause that's kind of a big deal, like grenades and flashbangs and that. And I use flashbangs a lot, probably more than grenades, just to figure out where people are. So I'll throw a stun grenade into a room, and if it gets a hit marker, there's someone in there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know if, I mean, is it worth picking up a perk to throw it a bit further? I don't know. But they are kind of useless. But in the same way, to be honest, most of the time in Black Ops 2, I use C4 now, and you can't throw that very far. So
C4 drove me crazy online because
it's massively overpowered in Black Ops 2.
Yeah, in a mad fucking place, and they would just chuck it up, and you're fucked. And
yeah, I mean, if I'm losing a gunfight, I'll just get behind that cover and throw the C4 out. Like, it doesn't bother me, but yeah, I don't think C4. From what I noticed, you couldn't trigger C4 off in the same way with the double tap of reload. So I don't think that's going to be in the game. But there's so much we haven't played. Even though I've played that much on it, there's so much they haven't shown us yet. Like we only had 3 kill streaks in support and assault, whereas in the full one, each one's going to have 15. We didn't have access to specialist at all. We only had 2 or 3 assault rifles, 2 or 3 submachine guns. So even though I've played and enjoyed it, I think the final release is going to be a much, much better game than my experience I've had so far. So I'm pleased because I do make videos of it. So I'm pleased. I think it's going to be something I will enjoy. So
Yeah.
I think we can look forward to it. To be honest, I'm never really pessimistic about games because I just think they're just a bit of fun anyway, really. But yeah, I think it'll be good. I think everyone's gonna like it.
in the back of the face.
Sorry.
Escapism, basically, shooting somebody in the back of the face.
Yeah, I mean it's where I always say it really, but I play games for entertainment, and that's why I'm not really into the competitive like Call of Duty scene. Like some people are really into that, and sometimes I'll watch a match, maybe even the finals as well. But I'm not really into the scene of like professional players and turning it into a legitimate electronic sport or something. Like, yeah, that's great if you want to do that, but for me personally, I play a game to, make me laugh, cheer me up, or, play online with my friends. That's it. It's not, I don't want to be like the quote-unquote best.
I completely agree.
It kind of makes me cringe a little bit, but if that's what you're into, then that's fair enough. As long as you don't get an ego with it, I don't care about people being competitive, but when you start getting a bit egotistical about being like #1 COD player or something, that's pretty cringy.
So, like every single 13-year-old playing fucking COD right now. So like, hey, fucking faggot, and telling me how much they've slept with my mum or fucked my
It's not just that. I think it's just the point where people think it's an amazing talent to be good at Call of Duty, where it's not. It's a very low skill-based game.
Yeah.
It's like, build me a rocket ship that can fly at the moon. I'll be impressed with your ability. Like, don't play COD and just think it's not really something to boast about. I mean, it's good to be good at the game. Like, and obviously, I want to be as good as I can be, but it's such a low skill level game when it comes down to it that, I mean, of course, the best players are really good, but I think there's a huge pool of people who could compete with a little bit of practice and a little bit of dedication to it. It's not like these people have some amazing talent and now they're professional COD players.
I mean,
I think it's...
Isn't it true that the competitive gamers now, they can fly over and work in America and that kind of stuff, like for competitions, and they're considered sportsmen?
Yeah, well...
League of Legends they filled out the Staples Center in America for a competition.
I think the thing you're talking about, though, is more, I think it's to do with, like, getting around taxes and stuff for travelling, so they had to ban them under sports or something, so that they got some sort of tax break or something.
Yeah, they got some kind of like a visa thing, I don't know, green card fucking thing.
I mean, but to be fair, like, there are like, quote-unquote, what I'd call games out there, which are kind of sports, which are similar, to be honest. I mean, things like darts and snooker and whatever, like,
Poker.
Of course... Yeah, it's still a sport in a way, but also it's not a true. I don't know when's it. I class them as games, but you can still have a competitive game or poker or darts or snooker or whatever. But you know, it's just completely different from, I mean, an athletics or a football or rugby or something. It's just.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it can't be competitive. I understand that. But then where do you draw the line? I mean, competitive tiddlywinks, you know, competitive Monopoly.
Hey,
Like,
I
when
won't
does
hear
it start
anything.
becoming a bit...
I won't hear a bad word be said about competitive tiddlywinks.
Yeah.
I
Well, I
reckon
heard it's blowing up like,
Yeah.
on Twitch.
Every single competitive Monopoly game ends with some person going, "Oh fuck, this is bullshit," and like throwing the ball everywhere. Or arguments about who gets to be the dog or the race car. It's
Yeah.
always that.
It's Monopoly, isn't it?
Yeah.
Stealing money.
It's funny though, no, because I mean, the reason I asked about Eurogamer is something we touched on last week, which was, you know, our sort of equivalent of. I mean, it's not even an equivalent, if I'm completely honest. Our sort of game show, you know, EB Games Expo kind of thing, where it's largely, you know, a weird sort of huge venue, but with some fairly poor use of gaming real estate, and they dedicate a nice big block of real estate to Ghosts and Titanfall and Battlefield 4 and all that sort of stuff. But, you know, unless you dedicate an entire day to it, and unless you maybe know a community manager of EA or Call of Duty or whatever, or Activision, you know, to try and circumvent these queues a bit, you just spend your entire amount of time there queuing. Me and Chris were there for 3 hours, and we played one game of Ghosts and one game of Forza, which was basically a walk-up. But it just, like, the queuing system is...
It's frustrating. If I wasn't involved in the, like, community, like YouTube and media and stuff, I would probably wouldn't go to these things. Like, it's not really worth, unless I was there to meet people that I knew from online. But no, it's not great fun, in my opinion, unless you do get the privileged opportunity to play more games than other people would. But I'd say Titanfall was worth lining up for if you went for that.
Yeah.
I think that's the only game that I'd say, you know, okay, it's a 2-3 hour queue. You only got to play 2 games the whole day, but at least you played something new that was cool. So,
Yeah, I definitely want to go for Titanfall. I'm going to check that out.
That's amazing.
yeah.
We're
I mean,
in the queue.
if I was a member of the public and I lined up for 2 hours maybe to play COD Ghosts, I'd be pretty frustrated with it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I hate queues as it is. Like, I literally despise them. So
We
Yeah,
and Chris were in the
crazy.
queue at the time, and over the back was the queue for Titanfall, and it was like, you know what, we could pretty much, you know, save ourselves the bother for a game that we know kind of what to expect kind of thing, whereas Titanfall is just so new and out of the box. You know, maybe we should have turned back, but, you know, everything in hindsight.
Well, if we knew it was going to close early, we
That's
definitely
true.
would have.
Yeah, it was closed early, and
How did you guys pee when you were in line? Or get food?
I did it on the console. It was good.
Which one? Which console?
Chris's console. That's why he lost badly. I'm just glad I went positive in that one game of Ghosts that I played. 8 and 7. Boom, get on my level.
Yeah. To be fair, like because the COD Ghost build that I've played as well, it's not well optimized, and it doesn't have that aim assist, and it's very like when you jump into it, it's a bit of a like shock to the system, all the new things and all the things that are going on. Like I think if I'd only played 1 or 2 games of it, I'd probably be like, oh, I don't know, not really that looking forward to it. I wouldn't be that impressed by that demo. But having spent some serious time with it, and then considering how I think the final build will be so much better, I am definitely looking forward to it. So, but yeah, I don't think it was a great showcase for the game, because this time last year, I remember at Eurogamer last year, we played Black Ops 2 and everything in the game was on show. Every kill streak, every gun, even camos, if you were like smart enough to find out where they were on the main menu. So it's a bit. I understand they want to tease things out. I mean, but what is it? 2-3 weeks now, and we've only seen 4 maps, a couple of assault rifles. So
and no shotguns.
Maybe
annoying.
Well, there was one shotgun,
Oh,
but
really?
it was shit, like really bad. So
Damn, I'm going to have to become an SMG monster now.
yeah. Well, feel for me, I have to get it gold camo. So
That is true.
that's like, yeah, that's the thing I don't like.
What's it comparable to? Like a 1887 or?
It's like a semi-automatic shotgun. A bit like the
AA-12,
AA-12, I suppose, but
Yeah.
no, it's fully automatic, isn't it? It's
Striker.
semi-automatic. It's a bit like the Striker actually. That's probably what I'd say it was like, but it didn't have as many shots in the round? I don't know what it is for shotguns, but yeah, it only had like 6 shots, and then you had to react, and it was. But I think the main reason is because auto aim was off as well, and so you couldn't really stick to targets at close range. When they whizzed past you really quickly at close range, you struggled to keep your aim on them, and if you miss with a shotgun, you're dead practically. So you, yeah, that's not going to be. I'll be interested to see what shotguns they do, because they have attachments for shotguns in terms of the bullets. You can actually get a slug instead of a
Flechette.
what's the other type? Yeah, so the fact that you can get slugs, hopefully for all the shotguns, will make them more fun, like the KSG and Black Ops 2. So
yeah, I didn't mind that modification, to be honest. I mean, I'm still championing the 870 all the time. Well, the majority of the time, anyway. Yeah.
it's kind of a scrub shotgun, though, isn't it? Really, it's just,
It is.
But then people would say that, but you take so many deaths with shotguns. Like it might be a bit cheap when you just run up on someone, just blam, hit fire them, like they had no chance. But at the same time, if you don't know how to maneuver around the map with a shotgun, you're just going to die so much, and it's going to be no fun.
My best
Pretty much
gameplays are with a
skills.
shotgun.
Yeah.
I've got one going up in the next couple of days. I think it went. It was 47 and 15. I think. I was just running around. I mean, KD wise, it's nothing fantastic, but yeah, I mean, I see it as the short range version of a sniper. It's like, yeah, if you get your shots on, it's a 1-hit kill, but.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's nothing better than when you've got a orbital VSAT in the air and a team of complete clueless idiots on the other time just walking around all over the place, and you're just running up behind them, just smashing them with a shotgun constantly.
Yeah.
Like, that is great fun. But if you're up against a smart team when there's a bit of distance, you can't get over to them, and it can be frustrating. So I think it's pretty balanced. I mean, if you can have snipers, which are 1-hit kill, then a shotgun's definitely balanced at close range.
I'm disadvantaged in the same way that they are, in close quarter situations, kind of thing. So there was one guy who sent me the nicest messages over Xbox Live a couple of months ago. It was just like, I'm going to shove that shotgun right up your fucking. I'm like,
yeah. Well, at least it's not Modern Warfare 2 pre-patch Model 18 akimbos. Like, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in a Call of Duty. Literally, you could just clear out a room in about 5 seconds. Just so funny. Because they had ridiculous range as well. That was the problem. They had huge range, 1-hit kill, and you had a akimbo. So it was just... It was ridiculous.
crazy.
I kind of do hope there is something like that, though, and then they patch it. Just so you can have a little bit of fun just before they patch it. Just yeah.
Really
You could have akimbo AA-12s in that game. It was pretty ridiculous.
Jeez.
I always thought how you would try and reload akimbo weapons, like realistically. I don't think that would be like a submachine gun. Yeah, I kind of can see that, but reloading a two shotguns while you're holding them at the same time.
Like me, picture that. That's the you kind of like holding one in your neck. Yeah, hang on,
Yeah,
hang
yeah.
on a
Well,
second.
I like the way they just disappear off the screen, come back 1 second later, completely reloaded, and it's like that's the realism for you kids.
Maybe
But have they
it's-
improved on that, like in Ghost?
Hmm.
Or is it just pretty
Sorry?
much just reload?
Or is it
like
the same? I'm not sure. I don't remember. There,
I think it was the same.
well, there was only one shotgun that I saw, and I don't even remember
Not
reloading
really
it. I think it was. It's kind of more realistic when you actually can see them putting the shells in to the shotgun. I suppose I think the R870 is like that, where you put in a shell at a time. But when you've got a Kimbo and just see them disappear and then come back completely reloaded, that is kind of
fucking
funny.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
You've got these magazines on your belt that stick out sideways, and you just go.
Yeah. But then COD, there's a lot of things like that in COD, to be honest.
There's a little
Right.
invisible ninja who follows you around everywhere you go, and he's always got two brand newly reloaded shotguns for you. So when you put them down, you just pick up the new ones.
Well, that's what Riley's for in this game. Riley's
Even
got
to
the
the
two guns.
mechanic of where, like, say you shoot half of your magazine and then you change the magazine, but you don't lose any ammo, like that, because technically you threw away half a magazine, but
That's
in
right,
the
yeah.
game it just refills it. Whereas that's not obviously accurate, but I prefer it like that. I mean, I think it's a bit, because I think Battlefield's a little bit like that, Battlefield 4, where if you reload after you've only shot a few bullets, you're going to lose a load of bullets.
Yeah,
But
Oh, okay.
It's called a
it
tactical
depends
reload.
what. Yeah, you have to be careful. You need to reload once you're running out, and not just. But in COD, because it's so fast-paced, you always want to have a full magazine, just in case you need those extra shots. So I do find, even if I've shot one bullet,
You've
if I
got-
get the chance to reload, I will.
You've got that
So-
reload syndrome, though, don't you, mate?
Yeah, but it saves your life. You'd be so surprised. It does.
I don't doubt
Sometimes
it.
it screws you over, but
yeah, that's that little moment in time where anytime you're reloading, just after popping a couple shots off, that's when they kill me. You know?
yeah,
There's
yeah.
Little,
Gotta
little
be careful with it.
Some of those PP90 clips from Modern Warfare 3.
Mm.
It's kind of like spray down, reload, spray down, reload. It's like, come on.
I love that. That's my favourite gun. I love that gun.
Yeah, that was good. I think that was the very first gun I got gold, actually. That or the Type 95. I went absolute ballistically on Type 95.
Yeah, it was a 3 burst, wasn't it, in that game?
Ridiculous
was
damage
it?
too.
Yeah, yeah, 1 burst pretty much all the time.
It's like 45
I
damage, I
think-
think.
Yeah, when they do those kind of weapons in COD where it's like, oh, it's 1 burst like short range, but over long range it's going to take more. But when you play Call of Duty, like 90% of your gunfights are short to medium range. Like you don't have that many long range ones. So if something is really powerful over short range, then it's going to be a strong gun. Like so, that's why Type 95 was just so ridiculous. It was just 1 burst almost all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. I use the Scorpion.
Scorpion.
I'm probably going to play a little Modern Warfare 3 actually to get ready for Ghost because that is the closest game to it.
Yeah, it felt like it in terms of speed, like just the actual, the motion of it, and just it felt like an Activision
I think
game.
it's the speed thing really. Like everything's like I think Black Ops 2 is like 80% of the speed of the Modern Warfare games, like MW3 and that. It just feels like you're just that much faster. And so you've got to adjust to that a bit because I think when you just jump in day one, because some people are really good with fast-paced shooters and other people prefer the slightly slower version, and I kind of prefer the slightly slower version. It's not that slow, but yeah, it's going to be crazy. And obviously, like as you get older, and there's all these like 14-year-olds with like ninja reflexes just like spinning around, and there's me like I've had a long day and I'm tired. I don't know. As you get older, you kind of worry that your reflexes aren't quite up to scratch, and
Preaching to the choir here, mate. Preaching to the choir.
yeah.
Hell, I'm still doing
That's why I like
battles.
the mouse and keyboard, like so quick.
I'm still doing battle with 18-year-olds on the basketball court, let alone on the bloody console.
Yeah. I think in a physical sense, I more than understand now that like the generation before me is now much more physically superior in most sports. But when it comes to online electronics, you want to think you can still compete in a game at least.
You play any sport now, or? Any
No, I
football?
used to play. I think the last
Tiddlywinks,
sport
right,
I
wasn't
played a lot of football.
Tiddlywinks?
But No. I mean, I've got bad. I'm kind of, it's all about getting old, but I mean, I've got a damaged Achilles tendon now, so I can't really do much.
What happened?
I think I kind of twisted it a bit at some stage, and it's just never really recovered. I've never had like proper physio for it, and it just like just to sit around, I can't feel any pain or anything or discomfort. But if I was to do some kind of jumping, running, after 5-10 minutes, I'd start to feel it be sore, and then if I continued to just run on it, it would really get really sore, and so I just kind of. I probably couldn't play football or things like that. Maybe like a kickabout, but no, I've been to the doctors and he just says just stretch it, so that's really useful.
Cheers, doc.
But it's been
60
like 2
pounds.
years now. Yeah, I said like I think I'll go again. I think if you go 3 times, they have to refer you to a physio or something. But I've kind of just dealt with it and hoped it's going to heal up, but it doesn't. No, I can just deal with it, to be honest.
Yeah.
I'd like to play football if I could.
Yeah, I'd like to get back into it.
Yeah, I think you pretty much need your legs for that, or your Achilles, both your Achilles tendons for that.
Yeah, I know. I quite like boxing.
Yeah, I feel kind of rude by saying that. Not really.
Yeah. Nah. Well, I do like boxing, but not in terms of I don't want to actually physically like punch people and get punched in the face, but I go and hit the heavy bag and stuff and do a bit of stuff like that. So
Yeah, right.
that's not too much. That's good exercise. One thing I find I can get really motivated is like the idea of hitting things. So that's why I like boxing. Because like I don't know, when it comes to running, it's kind of dull and a bit the same exercise repetitively. But when it's hitting something,
I'm allergic to running as well, so just completely allergic to it.
Yeah.
You
It's not
bunch
It's
of
weird though.
lazy bastards, the lot of you. Jeez.
It's weird though, Jay. With the boxing though, as weird as it sounds, if you're doing sparring and you've got the headgear, it doesn't actually hurt as much as you think it does. Because I'm doing boxing at the moment, and it's weird. Getting punched in the stomach hurts considerably more than getting punched in the head. But
Yeah.
if you haven't had it happen to you before, then it can be a bit daunting. But then after the first few times, you get used to it, and then you learn how to defend yourself.
Yeah, I have sparred
Yeah.
a little bit with some of my friends, but I'd rather just go to the gym and just hit the bag. Like I don't want to go to some boxing club and then they're starting like, especially if they think I'm like pretty decent. They're like, oh, you've got to fight, man. You've got to get into a fight. Like, I'm like,
You gotta do it, Rock. You gotta do it, Rock.
No. Yeah.
Get up,
Imagine like
get up, yeah.
oh,
You're an
God.
animal. You're an animal.
The pressure to start doing it competitively, I wouldn't like that. So.
No.
And I'm quite short as well, so the idea of an actual boxing fight worries me because I'd have to get close in to get the punches, and so you'd have to be able to take a lot of damage to be able to be a boxer with a short range, and I don't feel I am set up for that. Like, yeah, if I was like tall, you can just jab them away, but I either have to get in there or I'm just going to get jabbed to death, so it's not that appealing, the idea of...
Them body shots.
I don't know. Yeah, oh man, pain.
Well, I'll just kick off with the last topic, and it probably should be a short one, given that getting a little bit late here. This whole
12:30?
the
Oh, 12:30.
12:30. Yeah,
Too early.
some of us have to work, mate. Yeah,
Yeah, but
that whole stuff that I do between sleeping and awaking.
forever.
Yeah. This whole dedicated servers / cloud computing, every bit of hardware that Xbox are going to use to sort of utilize the, I suppose, the online experience for all their players. What do you make of that? Do you think it's going to sort of shorten the gap between people internationally who want to play together? Because that's the biggest limiting factor, I'll be honest, Jay, is that I would love to play with friends that I've got in the UK, but I'd have to probably leapfrog 6 different servers just to get there. My ping would be horrendous.
So you think what this off the cloud thing might help? I don't think it's going to really help with things like that. Like
If it's centralized though
connection
to a
issues.
degree, like I mean, and
Maybe, I mean, for instance, on Battlefield, if I want to play with someone in Battlefield, if I want to play with someone in Australia, we'd try and find a US server or just something in between. But on a game like COD, where it's either going to choose UK or Australia host, that's going to be an issue, because that would just be horrendous. But in some games, you can choose specific servers, but in most you can't. So I don't think it will help, to be honest. It's not with international connections. I think the networks themselves will just need to sharpen up.
Chris, are you breathing through your nose, mate?
Am I?
I'm
I was wondering what that was.
I'm getting this Homer Simpson-like whistle as you breathe through your nose.
It might have been me. I breathe through my nose
Gosh
sometimes.
darn mouth!
No, you were talking at the same time, though. I don't think it was you.
I think it was me. I don't know.
It doesn't have the same resonance.
Because I was sitting there, I thought it was my brother sitting over there before, and he's not in the room anymore. And then I started hearing it again. I'm like, okay, I think I'm going a little bit insane or delirious.
No, it was reminiscent of that clip in The Simpsons where Flanders is sitting
In the
next to Homer in the church.
Honestly, I think it's me. I do have that where I breathe from my nose quite heavy without realising it. I think it was me.
No, I think you were speaking at the same time though, so I was trying to
but I think I was
isolate.
breathing in. Yeah. I've
know.
noticed before on stream sometimes that I do it, so...
I want to figure out where it was coming from. Because I thought it was me for a split second. I'm
We
like, hold
won't
on, I'm
now
gonna
because it's going to be
hold my
eradicated.
breath.
Well, I didn't really hear it, so it probably is me.
I was looking for
I can't
people's
remember
mouths to
hearing
be
it
open.
either.
And everyone's mouth was open except for Chris's. And I'm like, maybe it is Chris. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But it was really clear. To me, it sounded like it was right here next to me. And that's why I thought it was my brother. And yeah,
The quality of
We'll
those
see.
speakers, man.
Maybe.
You got those surround 6.1 speakers with the special nose filters on them. Awesome.
Yeah, for people with fetishes for listening to people breathe.
Well, I think we might wrap it up there, lads.
Wrapping it up at the part where trying to find out who was breathing.
I was going to say, well, it can't really get much worse, can it? I mean, unless we're going to divulge into any sort of pimple popping activities, then
I'm going to start looking some of those up right now, after this.
Sick fiend.
I can't help it. So then I'm jumping on COD. Anybody jumping on?
No, not tonight.
I don't have a console.
Oh, I know, Chris.
The only thing Chris is jumping on is the bed behind him. Yeah. So I guess we'll wrap it up there. Episode 5. Episode 5. God, we've been going for more than a month now.
Wow.
How good's that? Past the difficult month period, if there is such a thing. Yeah. So big thanks to Ben. Thank you. Thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Ron and the man, Big J. Thank you, sir. Thanks for turning up.
Yeah.
I will no doubt see you in a stream in approximately 8 hours' time, I dare say.
Well, I don't know. I might stream today. See what's going on.
I don't want to hold you to anything.
Okay.
After this stream is how much you hated being on this podcast.
Yeah, can you imagine? Just a massive rant.
Yeah.
This was
that
bollocks.
fucking one guy? Who the fuck is that guy? I fucking hate him. Go for it. Fine. Come on me.
Okay. That was on that Clarkson-esque bombshell. I think we'll leave it there. Thanks very much. Don't forget to click like, subscribe. Damn it, I want to hit 100 subs before Christmas. Fucking hell. Jesus. That's
Also, put down who you want to see. Gav's girlfriend or his sister.
Oh, God.
Put that in the comments below.
or
Do
Ron's
that.
mum.
Well, ask her. Yeah. She'll probably say
Ron-
yes.
Ron's mom is a saint.
What was it?
Why, thank you, Ben. Okay, let's end it there, can we?
Let's end it there. Thanks for watching, guys. See you next week, where we'll probably insult other people's mums and go
I
from
feel like
there.
I'm playing COD right now.
Yeah, insulting other people's mums on COD, perhaps. Who knows? Okay. Thanks for watching. See you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.